Hello. Welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table, Rob and
Mel
are going to be playing
Dawn of Peacemakers.
Yes, not Dawn of the Peacemakers.
I always want to say
or Dawn of Peacekeepers, as I've been referring to it here and there. It's Dawn of Peacemakers, and I believe why there's no "the" in the title is because it's from the same publisher and designer and artist of the Dale of Merchants series. Dale of Merchants, same world, same game, or game world, sorry, from the same publisher. So maybe that's why there's no "the" in there. That's maybe a signature thing. But I do want to thank Sammy, the designer and illustrator of this game and publisher from Snowdale Designs, for sending this review copy to us. I appreciate that greatly. And we're going to be playing through this. This is our next campaign series on the channel. You're probably okay to watch this first one. Near the end, we will be flipping to spoiler-ish territory to find out what happens when we win the first campaign. But this game is a campaign game, and that's how it teaches the rules and introduces you to all the components of the game. There are hidden things, kind of legacy-ish, but the campaign is fully resettable. There is a skirmish mode in the game that they recommend you do not play until you've played a couple of the campaigns and know the rules. So it's a game that introduces you with like a pamphlet, like one pamphlet, similar, one sheet here, and then it's like, okay, go ahead, start playing, follow the campaign book. Don't go too far in because you might see spoilers. So this first episode's probably okay to watch, at least the majority of it. You'll understand the basics of how to play, the base rules to the game, and you'll see how the game works. But if you've played it before, you're okay with spoilers and you want to continue watching on, we have scheduled the next couple episodes. This is supposedly going to be 12 campaign games. I don't know if it'll be 12 episodes of the stream. We might play 2 in the same day on a weekend or something. We'll see. But if you've already seen our Clank Legacy playthrough, Aeon's End Legacy playthrough, Gloomhaven, Tainted Grail, blah, blah, all these other campaign games that we love playing on the channel, campaign, story, legacy games, whatever, it's going to be a similar series to that. And this is going to be more close to Clank Legacy, where or Aeon's End Legacy, where you only read a few rules and then you crack it out and start playing. So we have not played this to this point. We have not played. We've read what we're allowed to read a couple times, and I've watched videos before when I was investigating the game before I even reached out to the publisher to say, hey, I want to try your game. And I appreciate those who brought this game to my attention because it does look super interesting. If you just saw screenshots or of this game, or even quickly saw the beginning of like somebody's playthrough or video of it, you'd be like, it's miniature skirmish game on a hex map, like there's thousands of those, whatever. It is not that. We are the Peacemakers. We are these little furry guys. We're going to pick 2 of these guys on the front of the box here, and we're going to try to stop these 2 warring factions. So it's like this cool game where they're kind of like automated. They have their own decks that are going to control them, but we have card play and strategy. It's co-op. We're going to be working together trying to stop these 2 factions from wiping one or the other out. We need to tire them down, wear them down, stop them from fighting, and both withdraw from combat to stop, at least in the first scenario. But my understanding is as this goes on, it will reveal new units we get to play, changes up win conditions, changes the map. Lots of stuff will change. Frog is not furry. He does look furry in the art though. He looks a little furry there. Well, maybe not. Maybe he's, no.
He's like scaly.
He is definitely not furry. Okay, I take back. Frog is not furry, Edgar. I agree. You are correct. I need to get that on a t-shirt. All right. Greetings. Pine Leaf Needles is here. Joden's here. Derek from Kanjay Studios is here. Buell is here. Who else? Layla, hello. And Battlecry. And
Sujat is here.
Oh, Sujat snuck in. No, he was here earlier.
Oh.
He may not be here now. He was just calling out who's going to be late.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling his time zone stuff is all off, and we were like, yeah, he probably thought it started at a different time.
Yeah. Oh, and Sacabra's here. Hi.
Sacabra, hello.
So hello, everyone.
And Rodnoff's here.
Hello.
All right. So I don't know what else I can ramble on about this game other than let's get into a playthrough. That's the best way, I think, to show it off. Like, we've read the rules, and like I said, we've not played this. So I'm very curious to see how this unique game, like, if it's good or not, We'll find out, but it definitely looks interesting. I've seen lots of good things said about it online.
So Hans is here, Dragon's here, Faulty Joe is here also. Probably missed it. Is this Kickstarter or is this game retail?
This is a retail game. I
Yes.
believe there's a Kickstarter from like 2018, 2019-ish, or delivered in 2018, 2019, something like that. It's from the same guys that do Dale of Merchants, Snowdale Design. So it's the same designer, Sammy Lasco, I believe is his name. He's the one who designs it and does the graphic design for it. Very talented individual, I must say, based on what I've seen so far. But let's get down. Let's take a look at what this game's about. So it is in retail. You should be able to find it at game stores or on Amazon or wherever you guys get your games. But when I went to his website to ask for a copy, it was out of stock. So I don't know if like it's hard to find now, and hopefully there's another print run coming. But I know when I looked at our local stores, they were like low in copies. But then they just got some in yesterday. I got my email from one of our local retailers saying restocks, and this was on it.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it was a couple days ago. One of the recent emails said it, like Dawn of Peacemakers, some copies in. So it is in retail. So if you've never heard of it, great. You come to the right place. We're going to be going through it from scratch here. Like I said, there's no rule book. It's a campaign book that will teach you the rules. Then there's an index on the side. I'll show you some of that here. Let's go down to the table. All right. So this is it. Dawn of the Peacemakers. Okay. I want to shout out the quality of this game.
Yeah.
I play a lot of games over the last 8-9 years or whatever it is since I've been in the hobby. Okay. There's certain publishers that print stuff. I don't know if they have secret factories or they just, they just pay the right amount of money or whatever they do. Or maybe it's just because they're printing in high volume, but they just make better quality stuff. You just open it when you feel it and you smell it. You look at the art, you feel the quality of the cards. And yes, I said smell it. There is a definite smell. It's a high quality printed ink paper from quality factories versus not quality factories. This is something I've learned as a kid. Smelling Super Nintendo game booklets. Made in China stuff. It's a thing. I know I sound crazy. Some of you know what I'm talking about.
No, they know.
Some of you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so I got this game, and I know this was on Kickstarter, and it's from a fairly small publisher, and I've played a few Kickstarter prototypes lately that are decent quality, but they're still prototypes. And maybe I'm influenced because I played some of those prototypes lately, and I must say, it is so nice to open and touch and learn and feel the rule book, put the components on the table, hold cards, hold little minis that just feel quality. Like this game drips with quality. The rules, reading the rules, the English is clear. And the designer English is not his native language or anything. This is a translated game, I believe. And I must say, the rules are written so clearly and so organized so well. It feels so refreshing to finally play another game again that has high quality. And what I think is the factory where this was printed, this is exact same quality as a lot of the Fantasy Flight games that I play and love on the channel. Like the exact, it has to be printed at the same factory. The cards are like those board game size cards, like the skinny, smaller-ish ones, not the tiny ones, but the skinny, smallish ones, but they're the exact same quality as like Fantasy Flight games puts in a lot of their board games. The cardboard, same thickness, the feel, the texture on it. Even the miniatures are like, like Star Wars Rebellion, not as small as those, but like they're smaller than regular miniatures, but they're still nice. They're still detailed. Enough so you can tell that they're different. Like you can tell this is an archer versus, what is that guy? A warrior?
A warrior, yep.
Yeah, versus a warrior. Like I can fully tell, and they're tiny. They're not too tiny, but they're functional, and I like that. I don't need giant miniatures in my game. I don't need a ton, but there's enough to tell what's going on. But I just have to shout out the quality of this. Very beautiful game, very beautiful production. Feels like quality. Like it is well done. Like they didn't just take people's Kickstarter money and just print on like blah paper and components and stuff. It is very nice and very well put together, I must say. So I want to shout that out. Like this campaign book, like just has a beautiful feel to it. I don't know, like on camera it's not going to show it, but it just like has that feel, like plasticky finish. Even the pages are like they're like Fantasy Flight games rule books, like over the last few years. Like it feels like that. I swear they printed at the same factory, and it's rare to see other games have the quality of Fantasy Flight games for general board games. And so I must shout it out. It's on the par of that. So if you played any Fantasy Flight games produced board game over the last 5 or so years, it's that quality. So that's the best way I can describe it. But the game is very interesting. So like I said, you might look at it and you're like, oh, skirmish game. I'm playing these parrots and Mel's playing these tigers, and we're going to fight each other, red versus blue, and whoever wins. No. It's not that kind of game. It's very cool. There is a skirmish mode, but we're not playing that. We're playing the campaign as recommended. So we are peacemakers. So I'm this little fox guy I picked, and we'll read more about him. And this little fox guy, his name is Akazan. He's a phonetic fox from possibly northern Africa, but he may be lying because his description reads as he's a charismatic liar and impersonator, wandering storyteller, infamous for, it's a she, sorry, for her various dupes and swindling, but is always able to talk herself out of trouble. Her rhetoric skill set could be very useful. And see her location here. Unverified, could be fake, like northern Africa. Like, I think she's just BSing. Who knows where she's from? But that's what I picked, this little fox. So I'm a peacemaker. And we're playing co-op. And Mel's a peacemaker, and she picked...
I picked the gecko. Let's see if we can...
Timbatro, the little gecko. And we're like going to be working between these factions, trying to stop them from wiping each other out. That's how I can best describe it. So we're going to read a little bit of story. We're going to get us started here.
You can put yours there, though.
Is that where we start?
Yeah.
Okay, we start on this little bridge in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Conveniently, we're right in the middle.
So I said before in the last live stream that we were going to probably just crack this open on a live stream, kind of like we did Clank Legacy, and start from scratch. But we did read what we're supposed to read before setting up the first game, so we got ourselves sped up a little bit. But I just want to show the experience. You open this, read this first, just like a Legacy game. Welcome to Dawn of Peacemakers, game set in Daymeria, the exciting world of animal folks. The intro, I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm just going to read the stuff that may matter, that I think. There are 3 different booklets in this game box. The first 2, we have a campaign booklet. So this is what we're going to be working through. This has got some story. It's going to introduce all the different scenarios, all 12 of them. It's going to give us some story for our characters. It is going to give us the base rules. And it's slowly, each campaign, I'm not going to go further than the scenario we're playing today, but it describes the cards. It has all the rules in here, which I love. It's like walking you through a campaign to teach you the game. And each campaign, or each scenario, this is scenario 1 we're playing today, like look at how beautiful this setup is. It's so organized very well. Like they could have easily just took a picture, like similar to this. They could have taken a snapshot. This is computer generated here, but they could have taken a picture of the setup and threw it in the box and put some like icons over top of it. Nope. They did art. They have like beautiful art here laying out each scenario, and it's very well done. Like the fact they put that extra effort in, I love it. I love the aesthetic of this game. Like the overall feel of it is great. So far. Yet I have not played it. So we'll see how I feel at the end of this episode or at the end of the campaign or whatever. But just my first impressions on this game, beautiful. Like beautiful quality, beautiful experience. So estimated play time for this one's going to be 30 to 60 minutes. They even have, if you care about the regions, which we're going to see described in the story and stuff, here's what's happening kind of on a little map here. So you can follow along. I don't want to spoil too much, but we will be reading story through this, and it will get more spoiler heavy episode 2 and beyond, or probably near the end of this episode too. So yeah, as it teaches you through here, it describes like the terrain you're using in this scenario, but not beyond this scenario. So it slowly teaches you stuff. And the cool part is it announces in here when it unlocks stuff or tells you stuff that's campaign only related, not skirmish. Okay, so it'll tell you this relates only to the campaign, this part. Skirmish is different, and it'll explain that. But the cool part is it'll unlock things in there, and if you can pass me the index booklet there, or the box, pass me the box. So here's the box. So you get an index booklet, okay? This is like your rules reference guide you'd have in like a proper game that knows how to do rules correctly, where they give you like a learn to play guide plus a reference guide. That's the way Fantasy Flight's been doing it lately. I think that's one of the best ways to do rule books. They nailed it here for sure. So they did even one step better than FFG in a campaign, like a full campaign to teach you the game and introduce you to characters and components and more advanced rules and stuff. So the index booklet, it tells you don't just start reading through here. This is not rules. It includes all the rules, but do not read here because there will be spoilers. They say when you open it, just kind of find the thing that you've already learned, and you can quickly read the rules about it in this appendix. Okay, so if you're like, I don't remember how influence works, you don't have to go back through the campaign trying to find what scenario you did influence in and learned about it. Instead, just go to the index booklet, keep this nearby, and quickly read up about influence if you need to. So the fact they included this is amazing. They're not telling you, yeah, you have to dig through the campaign book, which is like 67 pages. You don't have to go back digging through to find little rules they taught you along the way. So I love that. It's beautiful. And hello, Spencer, and hello, Bernardo. Greetings from the comfort of my home, trying to honor the ones who fought for us. Oh, amazing. Okay, so yes, that's the index book, okay? Extra book will be... I don't think we'll be caring about that book right now. Oh, this I need to put back, but I will talk about that in a minute. Okay, then they include a skirmish book. So they say don't play the skirmish mode of this game until you played a couple chapters at least of the campaign. So I don't care about this book right now. I'm not worried about it. So if you're here and you're asking me in the comments later, how's skirmish mode? Can't answer you yet. I don't want to answer you yet. I want to play through this beautiful campaign first. There is hidden stuff in here like a legacy game. And anytime you see the stop. So there's a black envelope full of stuff. I don't know what it is. We'll find out later. Or not. Who knows? I don't know. But it's fully resettable. You can put all this stuff back and play through the campaign again. You can put it all back, sell it to a friend, or lend it to a friend, or sell it used, or whatever you want. You can put everything back. Here are the letters for the other two characters we're not playing with. I believe they're letters.
Well, it says 2. So
or maybe I'm thinking of this is the letter. It says something about welcome letter in the book, but it may be just this is the welcome letter.
I don't know. Oh, that's the welcome letter.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Then I don't know what's in here.
But it says 2 and then your character name, so...
Okay,
I don't know.
Probably letter. It reminds you of Tainted Grail, where you get those like starting letters. Same idea, but they're sealed. So we won't be opening these on this playthrough.
Nope.
We have a little score sheet. And it did say in the book it should be 12 sessions. So they give you one little sheet here. I'm sure you can print them off on the website if you want to play it again. So we're going to use this to track things. Okay. Now here's the box. Okay. Nice insert. Organize everything. We've already done a few things it told us to do in the welcome letter. We've set up our campaign decks similar to Aeon's End Legacy, Clank Legacy, Pandemic Legacy. It has a campaign deck. You'll be drawing through. It tells you when to stop, not to reveal it until you're on scenario, whatever. Has all that in here. Has some tokens. We don't know what these are yet, but I was told to punch them out of the cardboard, so I did. Here's some bases. Here's some other units we'll eventually see. There is a box, a mystery box. Who knows what's in there? And then the tiles, we're using only some, but there's 2 slots here for tiles. I'm assuming there's another way to get more tiles because we barely filled those up. Then there's all these locked decks here that you do not open until you get to that point. So locked. And then these cards are just leftover cards if we were playing 4 players. There's more reference cards and things like that. And some other cards you might work in a different scenario. There's also some glass beads for tracking things. We have one extra here because I don't think we're using this round counter in the first scenario. And here's your minis for the other characters. But it even keeps your minis separate if you paint them. Has a nice little storage there for your minis. Except for these minis, they're kind of not stored that great. But for me, I don't paint, so it's very functional. I just like this insert works. I love that. Like, thank you. Thank you, Snowdale Design. You did a good job so far. All right, that's all I want to say there. All right, so let's see what else. So in the campaign, 1 to 4 players take on the roles of adventurers, and their mission is quelling the hostilities between 2 warring nations. Trust and cooperation between the players is required in order to reach your goal and restore peace. Alternatively, you can face a challenge alone. By playing solo. So this does work solo, but it is on Board Game Geek. I do want to actually look. Let me just make it bigger. All right. So rank overall, okay, not the highest rated game yet, but we'll find out. But hey, it's got a 7.3. That's good, but not ranking. Sorry, not the highest of rankings, but 4,000 is not that bad. Out of like what 100,000 games at this point, 90,000 games, something crazy. But anyways, best with 2 is what I wanted to show. So it's 1 to 4 players. Community likes it 1 to 3, but best with 2. So we're lucky. We're playing it 2.
Nice.
It's 60 to 120 minutes. This first scenario says 30 to 60, so I'm sure because it's lighter and isn't full of rules. And it's a weight 3 weight out of 5. Okay. Just want to show that for those who are curious. Yeah, it is 2018, so I was right on that. And yeah. Okay, so the campaign consists of 12 unique scenarios, together forming a captivating continuous story. And in skirmishes, the mode we're not playing, 2 players control armies directly in order to defeat the opposing player. Players will build their armies, and they have to adapt to the chosen map in each skirmish game. While both game modes are use mostly the same rules, there are a few differences here and there. Each time the two modes have a different version of the rule, it's marked in the rule book, which is super cool to let you know. But yeah. All right. So Dimeria. There's some background here on this welcome letter to let you know what's going on here. So let's read this. And this is a bit more about the setting, okay? The exciting world of animal folks. Imagine an alternate timeline of Earth in which humans never evolved, and instead various other species developed intelligence high enough to create languages and eventually build civilizations. You're imagining Dimeria, the world of animal folks. There are many different kinds of animal folks with greatly varied personalities, attitudes, and their own unique cultures. Dawn of the Peacemakers is set in an era that is known as the medieval period of Dimeria's history. Animal folk nations have been formed all over the world, but travel and trade is still sparse. Continents remain largely isolated, as few are courageous enough to brave the harsh and unpredictable seas. Introducing the Scarlet Macaws and the Ocelots. So Scarlet Macaws are this blue faction here. That's these guys. Here's our commander, Sochi Yamak. So these are the Scarlet Macaws, okay? And the Ocelots are these tiger guys. I don't know if they consist of other animals, but they're tigers in this one. Or leopards. Cat-like creatures. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I said tigers before, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out here. All right. The game takes place on a continent that is equivalent of our world's South America. Its landscape varies from lush rainforests to barren deserts, and like in our world, it is one of the most biodiverse continents. Many animal folks, ranging from the slow and steady sloths to the practical emperor penguins, call the continent their home. Two very influential ones are the Scarlet Macaws and the Ocelots. The Scarlet Macaws are famous for their illustrious coats of feathers and the pride that comes with it. That should come as no surprise considering the hefty amount of time they spend every day taking care of their coats. All about the looks. The Macaws are also known for being smart, yet short-tempered. The latter attribute often overshadowed by the former. But a macaw is often as quick to calm down as they are to anger, and other animal folks interacting with them know to expect outbursts every now and then. Despite this, the macaws have also proven to be highly analytical and innovative, and they have established the oldest still standing civilization on the continent. That's cool. I like the whole background of this. They're not just cute little animal figures. They got a story. The Ocelots, on the other hand, are relaxed and loosely organized. They are famous for their many carnivals and festivities, which they hold at least every week of the year. Everyone, even members of other animal folks, is welcome to join. Sometimes they might even be partially forced to do so. The Ocelots have a tendency to speak their mind, and no matter the situation and their social nature, can also be seen in them being difficult to anger. Turning down an Ocelot's invitation usually only results in them working twice as hard to break the ice. The Ocelot culture and their worldview has little in common with the Macaws. Ocelots see chaos as a norm, while most other folks, including Macaws, consider it undesirable. Both the Macaws and the Ocelots have founded their own respective nations in which they represent a majority. Axikuk, I don't know if I'm saying that right, is the vast Macaw empire that controls most of the northern parts of the continent. It is a theocracy led by a line of Macaw emperors and empresses who are believed to be descendants of their god Tekliki? I'm going to butcher names here, I'm sorry. To the southeast, there is an Ocelot nation of Sakahu. It consists of countless towns and villages, each with their own traditions and chieftain to lead them. What's going on in Dawn of Peacemakers? The game's beginning takes place in a political volatile time in the history of Axikuk and Sakahu. Tensions have risen between the two nations after decades of relative peace, ready to flare at the slightest spark. A certain old chameleon has noticed the threat this nation imposes and has chosen to act. This is where you, the players, come in. A new chapter in Dimeria's history is about to unfold. All right, so that's our welcome letter. Done. All right, Dawn of the Peacemakers, campaign booklet. Marin's log, May 4th, 3329. The political climate on the continent is worse than I feared, especially with the Macaw empire of Axikuk. I'm not going to ever say that the same. Some time ago, the emperor and his court choose to punish the Quechia, a once prestigious family, by taking away its lands. The exact terms of the punishment seem to be buried deep within the imperial bureaucracy. What I do know is that the territory will eventually be returned to the Quechia, assuming they start behaving as expected from a member of the imperial court. Proud as they are, House Quechia has chosen a different path. Though through my contacts, it has come to my notice that they will not try to rein in their frustration anymore. Instead of enduring and letting things run their course, the Quechia will try to seize control of the completely new area, from their Ocelot neighbors no less. Their rashness endangers the stability of the entire continent. As such, I have chosen to intervene. I will have to proceed with subtly and cautious. I'll have to proceed with subtly and caution. Oh, and caution. So, I can't. Yeah, I'm bad. I'm sorry. Since I don't want the situation to escalate further, I shall try to call in favors with both Empire and the Ocelot Nation. A steady flow of information from both nations is valid. I will also need eyes and ears on the field, talented individuals capable of suppressing engagements and preventing unnecessary bloodshed. Relevant information on suitable candidates has already been gathered. It's a leap of faith to let strangers in on my plans, and even more so to give them authority to operate on my behalf, but I fear I'm out of options. The future of our homeland is at stake. Okay? All right. So in here they give you a game overview, and then they lead you on into the journey. Okay, so like I showed you, the campaign deck already has been described. The cards, I'll explain those now, and we'll go through that. Okay, so here are the units on the map. Okay, here is Commander Sochiamak. Okay, he is rank 3. This is the rank on the unit's card. This is just, here's a reference. There is only one Commander Sochiamak on the board right now, and he has a base that's snapped onto him this game that has like the star pattern. Okay. His attack is 3, his range is 2, his defense is 1, and his health is 8. He also has an ability here called Cautious Leader. If Sochiamak is injured, which means his health is at half or lower, lower his side's motivation by 1 step. Okay, and this little symbol is related to the skirmish mode, so we do not care about that right now. Okay, so that leads me to motivation. Okay, each side, this is what we're worried about here, is these tracks. So on this side is the Macaws. Okay, all their cards are over here. It's not my cards. This is just the Macaw side running over here. We have the Ocelot stuff over here. Our stuff we're going to play in front of us. We'll describe that as we go. But here, and we're playing on the campaign side here. That's what this is. This is if you're playing skirmish, use this side, okay? So you put defeated units here on the board. So as a side's faction gets defeated, you lower the motivation each time one unit of the side's defeated. Motivation for the Macaws is going to start on 6 with this glass bead here. Okay? Every time one side dies, and there are other ways on cards and effects and stuff to lower the motivation. The motivation may raise. But the whole idea of this scenario at least, and I think the game in general, is we need to get both factions into this green area. So either number 1 or number 2. At the same time at the end of a round. And we check this condition. If they're both in the green, they'll withdraw and we win. If one side at the end of a round is in the red here, they're like defeated, wiped out. That's if they lose their last unit on the board or their leader. And right now the only leader on the board is this guy from the Macaws. The Ocelots do not have a leader right now. So they would have to get all 3 wiped out to hit that bottom. But they also can lower motivation other ways, so you got to be careful. So the whole game, we're trying to keep this balanced and bring them down at the same roughly time and get them to the 1 or 2 at the end of a round. We feel good, we win. But if one of them, like I said, gets to the end, we lose. So these guys start at 6. And the Ocelots are starting at 4.
Yep.
Okay? These are your like frontline, I don't know what to call it.
Frontline sign.
Frontline sign, yes. So this just tells you which way they're going. So if you need to move a unit, it's going this way, okay? If you ever forget, and it helps with targeting, determining targeting priority, they're going that way, okay? The Ocelots are going this way, okay? I don't know, maybe it changes in future scenarios. Well, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because if you look. Whoop,
they are dials.
Yeah, like you can see that eventually it might come to where they're going maybe this way.
Oh, yeah,
so you can actually put it on the board and see what direction.
Oh, maybe,
yeah,
yeah. Or it changes in the middle of a scenario based on stuff.
Sorry about
So these are exactly This is what also made me think of FFG games. It's exactly like most of the dials you put together, same cardboard thickness, feel, and the same little black things that go between here, the little pins. But yes, it's exactly like X-Wing or any of these games that have dials like this. That's what made me think it's printed at the same factories as Fantasy Flight Games products are printed at. That's one of the things, on top of many others. Okay, the other things on the board here. These are called the order deck. This is the Ocelots order deck, the Macaws order deck. There are two parts of the order deck. So both these piles are considered part of the same deck, but they're each a different type. So this is an order deck, but it's the ploy part of the order deck, okay? And this is the task part of the order deck, okay? Order deck, task, okay? So what's gonna happen? These ploy decks are what they gave us. The task decks are put together specifically based on the scenario and what units are in play. There is going to be, with every scenario, I'm sure, will be a little table here telling us, okay, there's our frontline sign, motivation starting. Let me see if I can get that to focus. So the ploy deck, we're going to use all the Scarlet Macaw ploy cards and the Ocelot ploy cards, okay? But then for the task part, it describes which, so these are the bases, right? There's circle bases, star bases. There's also like gear-shaped bases that we're not using for this faction, but we are using for this faction, okay? So that just tells you you're putting in task cards related to that unit type, okay? So the cool part is, for example, the Ocelots. So these bases come on and off, and you put different ones on based on the scenario. But here we have the warrior, and here we have the archer, and they have a different base. And you think, okay, this archers use that other base, but no. Here we have a warrior, and this archer have the same base. So they're actually going to go together when their task card comes up. They will each activate on that turn. So they're going to activate separately, but activate kind of together. Okay. So you build these task decks different with orders. And I'll show you this task deck. Yeah. So the cool part is when it's their turn to go, you flip two cards off the top here and they connect. So they make their own little parchment here. So this one, for example, what you care about is the speed. So this tells you who's going to activate in what order. So these factions are like automated. So when I flip cards up from this faction and this faction, both factions at the same time, you'll see this faction, the Ocelots, their speed is normal. These guys' speed is slow. So this one will go first because it's normal. It could also be fast. So we resolve these guys' action first.
Yes.
But if they tied on that card, then you look at the second card from the task deck, and there's an order to things. These are both strikes, so they'll happen at the same time, but they're broken by these speeds on this card. But if you look here, if a move came up, the faction that moved and the faction that strike, the move one would go first if they were resolving at the same speed. And then if they still are tied for speed, it all just happens at the same time. So there's like an order to things, an order of operations, kind of like a programming to these guys. And yes, you can mess with these decks. That is a big part of the game, is peeking at cards, changing order, putting cards from the bottom on the top of the deck, discarding cards, whatever. There's all these little powers on our cards you'll see. But as you see here, these task cards will come up. So let's look back at the Macaws here. This tells me it's this unit, the unit with the star base, and that would be the leader on this side and this soldier. This Macaw soldier, he has the same star base, and these two guys have circles. So these two guys would activate in this case, and they have a strike card. So they would say attack with this group, and we'll get into combat when it happens, but that's when they'll strike. And then over here, it'll tell you something after they strike, or before maybe. Each unit in this group has -1 attack until the end of the round. Resolve this order's task again immediately after resolving the first time. So they're doing a twin strike. Get it? Ha! Attacking twice. Makes sense. I love it. All right. So also here in this task deck, things that they will do. Like I said, they move. So it'll tell you the group that's moving forward. It's also there. They could cover, where they take cover, and they could get +2 defense to help them if the other faction's striking. So again, you don't want one faction to wipe the other out. You want to kind of bring them down a little bit evenly. But if you notice, the Macaws are up at 6. So one way, like I said, to reduce the motivation, to have their dudes die. So that's only one way to do it. There's other ways. So we see they're not outnumbered. So the Macaws outnumber the Ocelots. So maybe a beginning strategy might be to start eliminating some Macaws, helping the Ocelots. If that's the case, we need to do things like make sure these guys draw cover or draw strikes to either protect themselves from the Macaws, and maybe we need to make sure the Macaws don't draw cover so that when we have these guys strike, they actually start taking some of these units out and leveling the playing field. Okay, but you got to be careful. It's a fine dance. You don't want one faction to wipe out the other. But those are the 3 things they can do: move, cover, strike. There's also this card, Change of Plans. If you draw this, you literally have to take the discard pile, the rest of the task deck, shuffle it up together, and then draw a card to replace that Change of Plans if you draw it at any time. Okay, so that's how that deck keeps you on your toes and keeps changing up. The ploy deck doesn't have a card that does that. If we just run out of it and you need to draw or look at another card, you will shuffle the discard pile and just make the deck again. Okay, things in here it can do. Swift Strike. This just makes it fast, whatever task is done. Revoked. It will just lower its motivation and not do the next task. So there's 2 revoke cards in the whole deck. That's a way that it can drop its motivation. So that may come into play. There's the twin. There's evasive. So immediately after it's done whatever it's doing, it's going to move back a space. There's regular, so just normal. Closing. This one says, just before this task, move each unit in this group forward 1 space. Okay. And then this part's only for skirmish, but the rest of it says this takes priority over all other effects.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, they have a couple closings in there and evasive.
I'm just going to shuffle this one back up.
Yeah. So there are different things, I believe, in each faction's deck, but maybe they're the same. I'm not sure.
In each faction's which deck?
Ploy.
Oh, yeah.
Because they are different, like on the back, but I don't know if they have the exact same cards at this point, or maybe they change. Maybe during the campaign we get introduced new cards that give them more of their own flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do have different ones.
They
yeah.
do
okay,
have,
let's show some of that. Let's show some of that. So let's shuffle these up. Okay. Let's see. So the Ocelots have something called Bold, where you roll this die, and there's I think 12-sided die in this game, which gets rolled for different reasons, either to change up different faction types that are going. So based on their base that's on their mini, could change it. That you might need to roll for a number. So the numbers are all in here, and depending on a roll, for example, roll that die. Based on the roll, adjust the attack of each unit in the group until the end of this round. So you could reduce their attack, keep it even, raise it. There's things like that. Like I love this little aspect of the game, and you know they're going to add other cards in as we play through this campaign to spice this up. But in the meantime, it's the same few cards multiple times. Reckless. What's this one? Each unit in this group deals and takes double damage until the end of this round. After adjusting the incoming damage based on either fortification, shields, or what's that? Shatter.
Oh, yeah, shatter.
So I'll explain some of that stuff in a sec. There's the revoked. They each have 2 revoked for sure. And there's the reckless. Okay, you shuffle that. Ploys are super distinct. Ah, that's cool. Thank you, Joden. Yes, again, we've not played this. We're just, we literally just started reading about it last night. We opened the box yesterday after our stream last night and started kind of reading through the rules, and this morning reading them again to try to figure out, trying to remember things. But it's going to take a little bit for it to stick. So we will be kind of looking into things as we play. But Joden, feel free in the comments or in the chat if you guys notice anything, or even in the comments later if you're watching this on YouTube before our next episode, or even before our next couple episodes. Drop any corrections down below and timestamp it if you can. Just so in our future episodes we play it correctly, and if anyone's coming here in the future, they'll see those comments and they will know our mistakes and can correct it in their playthroughs. Okay, so what else should we cover here? So the terrain. Let's talk about terrain. So this terrain is double-sided. So there is a double side to this board. There's a sand side or something on the back that has this kind of color. So we don't know what this is. This is not using this in this chapter. I'm sure we'll introduce it later. These are like rivers, I believe. Rivers and fountains. They act the same. So this has what's called shatter. Any unit can move on to this part, but it gives them -1 defense. Basically is what the shatter is. That's a defense symbol, -1. Things like this rock space give any unit on here +1 defense. So they can hide in the rocks. There is the bridge in the center. This acts just like a plains. Plains are all these green hexes. They don't do anything. They're just there. But the fountains up here, this is a fountain leading to this river in this scenario. They can all move through this stuff. But again, if they're on the space, -1 defense. There is also the forests, which have stealth. If a unit's hiding in the forest, only units in the forest or beside the forest can attack them. Okay. So you have to be adjacent to hit them. Anything else terrain-wise? I think that's it.
Just this one.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see the tower. Guy's hiding in the tower, or covering, the tower's hiding in the guy. All right, so tower also gives defense, kind of like the rock place, but it also gives the faction an extra motivation, which has already been calculated into the starting motivation. So anytime a unit moves off of here, if that faction no longer has units on here, its motivation will drop to reflect that it doesn't have control of this tower, which I think is super awesome. So this archer is in the tower. So right now they have 4 motivation. If this archer moves back or forward, they will drop down a motivation. If a macaw shows up in there later, the macaws will go up a motivation. Okay? So it will adjust on the fly based on that situation there. All right. Another thing we need to care about is resource cards. These are our cards. These are what we're going to play with. There are, I believe I counted 12 different cards in here, 3 copies of each to get us started. I am sure as we play through the campaign, I have a sneaking suspicion we'll be adding more cards to this deck to complicate things, to increase strategy, to make the game more meatier and crunchier. But there are things in here. And these cards, let me just talk about the cards actually. You can do any of the actions. They're multi-use cards. So you can either play them to gain some influence. And influence is for 1 influence. That's what this card symbol means. For 1 influence, I can look at the top card of any deck of the faction that I'm a companion with. So I would need to be on the same space. Let's say if I'm on the same space as a macaw, I'm now a companion of that faction. I'm not a unit of that faction. I am never I'm never a unit. I'm never fighting or anything like that. I am in the same space. I now can like kind of whisper in their ear, influence them, trick them, lie to them. I make them do what I want kind of idea. That's what you are. You're like, this game I would think is best described or related thematically if an IP I really love, Game of Thrones. I'm sure you guys know what Game of Thrones is, or A Song of Ice and Fire. Mel and I, we're Varys and we're Littlefinger. Okay, that's basically who we are here. Okay, we got the Starks and the Lannisters out here, and they're want to just kill each other. But behind the scenes, we're here like messing with each one and trying to keep them from wiping each other out and trying to keep the balance in the realm. That's basically what we're doing. So that's how my brain clicked when I read about the game. It was like, oh, I get it. So that's the way I think about it. So if I'm in that space, I can use my influence. To affect the Macaws deck. I can guess who is who. Yes. Except for if we're Varys and Littlefinger, we're like Varys and Littlefinger at the beginning. We're kind of like working together. We're not Varys and Littlefinger who like want to kill each other and hate each other. We're like working together. We're friendly still. We're brothers. Okay. We're not
brothers.
We're not trying to kill each other yet. Right.
Early stages.
Early stages. Varys and Littlefinger. I should clarify. Just make sure that has Littlefinger. You change your accent every turn.
Oh my god. That's funny.
Yes. So 1 influence. I spend an influence. I can look at 1 card from either. I can go to the order deck and I could choose the top card of either one. Okay. I look at it. I have the choice to know that information myself. If I look at it, it's private to me. I can describe stuff out loud, but we're not really supposed to show each other our cards. But because we were playing on video, I don't want to see any comments about, hey, you showed each other your cards. We're playing on video. So I will be showing my hand on video. Mel will be showing her hand. We'll be talking open. We're playing with you guys. We're showing you the game. So that rule, whenever I see a game like that where it's like, you can describe your strategy using certain words, but never show them your cards. No. What?
No, I was going to say, I feel like that rule was put in for an alpha gamer situation.
Yes.
Which
I like. I'm not knocking the rule.
So
I'm just saying on live stream video, the game wasn't designed for live stream videos, but it works better if we just openly show our cards, explain what we're doing, show the camera instead of me like just holding them here and hidden. I want to show the game, right? Yes, Sajat's here. Hey kids, daddy's home. We were talking about you earlier. All good, I promise. Okay.
Sorry, I do have a question there. Hey Rob, just wondering if you were planning on doing another Euthia playthrough and if you had seen the add-ons on the Kickstarter page. I love the dice.
Yeah.
They're very
So thanks, Jack has aimbot for popping in with the question. So Euthia, I very like that they finally released the add-ons and showing them off. I just wish they had that stuff ready near the beginning of the campaign. I'm sure that would help them out a lot. Hopefully that information gets out to a lot of people. I don't think I'm doing another playthrough video of it anytime soon. We have too many other games we need to get into and play. So I don't think so.
And we've already played through every scenario that we have so far.
We've played through all the scenarios. We've tried every single character, and I've even played the solo mode. I've done a lot that had come in that pretty packed prototype.
Yeah.
But I'm going to just wait till the final production copy is done at this point, I think. Not to say I may not play it in the future. But yeah, it would probably be off camera, I think, if I'm going to play it with... Once we finally can have other friends come over, I might play the game with them. It might make it on camera, but we'll see.
But nothing is scheduled.
But with the add-ons, I think they're great. I like that they have a way so those stacks aren't going to be falling all over the table of the tokens because there is so many in the game. I'm not sure how much I like that they stand up, but it doesn't stop me from laying those stands down to hold the tokens kind of like index cards, kind of like Seventh Continent. That's kind of the way I would like to have the tokens on the table maybe, but I don't know. I'd have to try it in person, but I like those stands. I like the way they came with containers add-on, so you can just keep all your components for a single character together. I like that because that's kind of like what we were doing. But yeah, I like the add-ons. They're great. The custom dice, yes.
Yeah,
the dice in the game, that was the only thing that doesn't fit in that game. Sticks out like a sore thumb. Why does it not have theme? I'm so glad that they put those in there. Custom dice is an option. I just wish they were in the game by default, but I can understand to keep costs a certain price and stuff. And then they got like baggies to hold things. I think that's all fine. That stuff's all good.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did it. I just wish they showed that stuff off at the beginning, or like to really hype it up. Yeah. Kind of sucks that they hit it till later when everyone's kind of moving on to other campaigns and stuff at this point. But yeah, I'm glad they're doing it. Glad they're listening to the community and adding stuff to that game, because that game is, I love that game. It's great.
So just asking, is this game spoilery?
Yes.
So it is a campaign.
So Jot, watch the first episode. You'll be fine. I'll warn you later before we go past the stop, don't read anymore section when we're going to find out about the results of if we win or lose here. That will get into kind of spoilery stuff. But this part, it's the first 11 pages of the scenario book. It's just this first scenario. There's a scenario they demo the game with and that other people have played through on YouTube. This is good to give you a base feel of the base rules and how the game base works. But this is very simple. This game, the campaign is meant to ease you into the rules and give you other factions later, more complex cards, new terrain, other side of the board, all this stuff. And yes, it does warn you all over here like this. There is caution. This index book concludes all rules in it. In order to not ruin your enjoyment and surprises that await, we advise only looking at the rules already introduced during your campaign. So this index book, they say don't just kind of look in everywhere you need to go. And same with the campaign book that we're working through here. It's just introducing just the stuff we need to know for each scenario. And it will slowly go.
It tells you stop.
Yeah, no, that's what I want to show. Okay. So right here, it's telling us, okay, start your game, but then stop. Don't flip anymore until end game. So I'll warn you guys when we get to that point. But this part, I wouldn't recommend even buying the game until you see this first part played to know if you even like the game, right?
Yeah.
So this part's okay, Sajat, but just, yeah, don't watch the next episodes and stuff if you don't want to be spoiled. Especially if you find this very interesting, you want to play through it yourself. And it's 12 scenarios that you play through until you get unlocked everything in the box. And yes, there is stuff that is hidden, like this that we're going to open in a sec. It's just a little thing for your character as you start. But we are going to open this that says, stop, don't open this before playing the first scenario. Oh, so we don't open this until the end?
Open this envelope before.
Before.
Yeah.
Open this envelope before.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Sorry, Jan's also asking, is solo one character or solo two-handed? I think it's only... I think it's one, right? Because the one that because it says in the drawing cards, like if you're playing
I think you're just one character.
Yeah, I think you can play either way.
Yeah, I did actually see, there was a playthrough online that there is somebody playing this solo, the first scenario, and I did see that they were just using one character at the start. So, yeah, it's just one.
Yeah, you just draw more cards.
Yeah, because they give you 4 base characters you choose. There might be more characters hidden in the box, I'm not sure. But they do recommend, you can change as you play through the campaign, but they recommend to stay with the same, we're using these 2 characters. They recommend stay with your character the full way through. But if you don't like them eventually, you can totally change it. It's not going to destroy anything. But yeah, if you play solo, you're going to just be drawing the cards to balance it out. So one player would just get 4 cards. And if you're playing 4-player, each player only gets 1 card. So it's kind of like divided up like that. But you each take your own turns. And is there a botanist character? No.
Well, we don't know.
Thankfully not. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't think we care about plants right now. We do care about trees, though, because that's stealthy. So these cards, let's go back to the cards. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, look. Okay.
That's so funny.
Tigor Midi, I'm not saying this right, I know, but thank you so much for becoming a Patreon.
Thank you so much.
The funny thing is, he was one of the people who told us to look into this game and get it. And one time we were streaming something. I don't even remember what it was. I should have looked when I found the comment. But people came in the chat and go, guys, as we were playing a campaign game, they're like, have you seen the campaign for Dawn of Peacemakers? And we said, no, we don't even know what the game is. Then everyone in the chat started talking. Yeah, you should check it out. The game looks awesome. You should play it. You guys will love it. And I went, wow, everyone's talking about this game I've never even heard of. Then later in the comments on that video, that person right there who backed us, thank you so much. They said, if you play through this, I will become a Patreon. Okay, so I went, we got the game, and Mel reminded me about it this morning. She's like, remember that person that said they would become a Patreon if you got this game or whatever? And I was like, all right, let's go find this comment. So we found it this morning. I posted on it right before we started saying, it begins, and put a link to this video. So they obviously saw, and if you're watching, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
amazing.
the support. But they came through.
This is for you.
But yeah, this is for you, yeah. And all the other people that were telling us to check it out. But yes,
sure. Just kidding. But...
this is one of those games that was heavily influenced by our patrons and our viewers who told us to look into it. And I did my research and we got it. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious. I was like, I didn't expect them to become a Patreon. I just thought it would be funny. I'm like, I'm gonna go reply to that comment and tell them like, hey, we got it here. We came through. So it's kind of funny, but. Anyways, back to it. Back to these cards. All right. So there's multi-use cards. So influence. I already talked about that. That's how you influence a deck where you're in the same space as one faction. The cool part is when I'm playing influence to look at cards, let's say I draw one card. I play one influence. I look at one card. And that's all the influence I have in my hand. That's my last card. Mel can play influence off her cards from her hand and add and let me reveal more cards. And I keep drawing cards until I'm done spending all the little influence symbols. So some cards... like these ones, have multiple. So if I play like this on my turn, I can draw 3 cards from any deck. And every time I draw a card for each symbol, I can pick a different deck. So I can say I want to look at the ploy. I'll use the next one to look at a task. And then the next one I want to look at a ploy. Now I can put those back. I now have information, but I also can put them back on top in any order I want. So I could draw all from the same deck, no problem. So if we're looking to stop a faction from striking the other faction, this is a good way to do it. Draw a bunch of cards off the top of the deck, find that strike card, bury it, okay? Make sure they're not going to strike, or maybe you want them to strike, but not this turn, maybe next turn. So maybe you dig for that in the task deck. Or maybe you want to find in the ploy deck, you don't want to have the card that comes up that reduces their motivation. So you might try to look for that and then put it deeper so that their motivation doesn't drop before another faction's drops and that kind of thing. So that's part of the balancing act. Okay. The other thing you can do with the card is move. Okay. This helps your little guy move around the map. So you can go, I can move and go to the other side and now manipulate what they're doing. Okay. So I can move around like that. I also, if I'm on a spot with a unit and that unit moves, I can choose to move with it if I'm on the same spot. So that's another way we'll get around the board. Okay. The other thing is fortifications. So some cards obviously have certain symbols and not. So this action is called fortification. So for one fortification symbol, I can take these fortification tokens, these little wooden cubes, and if I'm on the same spot with a unit or adjacent, so I could fortify this space, and you're fortifying a space, not a unit. So I think I can even put cubes like this if I wanted, okay? But that's obviously 2. I wouldn't do that. And I can put them on separate spots. As long as they're adjacent or the same spot I'm on, for each little symbol here, I can fortify. What that does, it adds like +1 defense. But when that spot gets attacked, it actually starts shredding that off the board. Like every point hits here, it will take that away, reduce the attack damage by 1. Okay, so I can refortify later. And these cubes are considered unlimited. So if I need to pile like 6 on a spot and we run out, whatever, we keep going. We'll find some other way to track it.
And if I remember, you cannot fortify the rivers.
You cannot fortify fountains or the river. Okay. And the other thing you do with the card, of course, is play it for its scheme. This is a text on the card. We'll deal with these as they come up, but they are ways you're going to influence the units on the board. You can damage units. You can poison them. You can lie to them. You can lead them different ways. You can look at cards on their decks. This one lets you look at the top card from any Army's Order deck. Okay, there's one here. Choose one of your damaged companion units. Remove 2 damage from it. So emergency care. You can heal them. Okay. So this is part of the balancing act. You're trying to be in the middle of the battle. You're like friendly to both factions. Take over, Mini. Hello. Thank you so much for the support. Awesome. We came through and you came through. I like it. I like it.
Is that a gecko? Yes, it is.
Is that Geico?
Oh, Geico.
Geico. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. He will save you 15% on your car insurance and heal up your birds. Okay. That's what they do. Encouraging words. So this one, for your companion units, so it's where you're in the space with another faction. They have to be in your space to be a companion with them. you can give them guard. What guard is like from other games we play, it's like taunt. Giving a unit guard means they're going to take the hits away from another unit that would normally be a target as long as they're within range of a unit attacking. So you'll see that in effect. I'm sure we'll use that. So there's ways to put more fortification down. Choose any space with the unit, place 2 fortification on it if possible. So yeah, there's, like I said, 12 or so different cards in here, 3 copies of each. But this one I love. This is, I think, my favorite one here. So here you go, Sajat from 7th Continent. We can give them nauseated here. Food poisoning. Choose one of your undamaged companion units. Give it 2 damage tokens. So you can poison the food of the faction you're with. You can distract them. Okay, distraction. All of your companions' units' range is reduced by 1 during this round. So there's a whole bunch of things in here. You can draw extra cards. So there's ways of carrier pigeon, kind of fly them ahead, find extra cards. Stuff like that. So there's lots of options, okay? And these are our cards we're going to play with on our turn.
And we're going to start with 2, so I will...
This versus Andor. I've never played Andor. Is there a toilet paper card? I think, Edgar, you can use any of these cards as toilet paper if you really need to, but I don't think there's a card specifically for toilet paper. Okay. A lot of the terminology is full-on Mage Knight, used differently, of course. Yes. Well, it's combat strategy in general, right? It's like any kind of war game, you're going to hear a lot of this stuff, right? Okay, so we each got our 2 cards. So here's my first 2 cards. I got Emergency Care, so I can heal a unit, or I can use it for 2 movement or generating 2 fortifications. And then I got Lost Missive, so I can get 1 influence, 1 move, or 2 fortifications, or choose one of your companion units, discard the top card from its army's order deck. So that helps if we peeked at the card using influence from another card, and then I can remove a card if we have a trouble getting rid of it. Like, it's good if you know what's coming, right?
Okay, so I got local contracts. Look at 1 top card from any enemy's order deck. That's good.
But remember, you don't have to use it for that ability. You might just spend it for one of the other actions.
True. Or Friendly Guide. You may move 1 of your companion units 1 space with you while you are traveling during your turn. You cannot move a unit onto a space containing an enemy unit.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so those are my cards right now. Are we playing like face up like this?
Yeah, like I said, I don't care about keeping them hidden, so we'll keep them face up the cards we're playing, so you guys can kind of follow along easier. We're going to play like we're playing solo, but two working together, kind of. Normally, like I said, when you're playing 2, 3, or 4 player, you keep your cards private, but you can totally describe what you want to do, tell people what cards you're using and stuff, but you don't show your hand. So, yeah. Okay. Open this envelope before playing the first scenario if you choose Akazan as your adventurer. So, let's open these letters to find out what's going on here. I believe... Oh, I didn't talk about attack. I should probably talk about attack, actually. Nope. Yeah, these are... Like, try not to... Oh, man. Yeah, this is not working good at all. So? Yeah. Yeah, we're, like, destroying the components, but that's okay. Yeah, very nice envelopes, but the glue is, like, very good and not letting me in at all. And the paper is not ripping straight.
And I'm afraid to rip the...
At this point...
Is the...
It's okay. Alright, so that's done. Oh, what is this? Okay, spoiler stuff here. Spoiler stuff here. No, it's just folded.
Oh.
So this is just like a letter, I guess, you get if you start as this character. So it's a letter from Maron, who we read already the thing on the front of the campaign booklet. Okay. On May 2nd, 3329, to Akazan. I am Marin. I must say it was very difficult to track you down. Never before have I heard someone with so many aliases and fake identities. Not to mention all the officials you had to convince into silence. I had to work hard for it, but piece by piece I rebuilt your path across South America, and finally, hopefully, you are reading this letter. You are probably wondering who I am. In short, I am an agent of sorts. My mission is to save my home continent of South America from the brink of war. Tensions have risen between the Axakuk and the Sakahu. Two very different folks and two very different cultures. The Macaws are short-tempered but organized, and the Ocelots are relaxed and unpredictable. In addition, a Macaw house is looking at their neighbor's land with the possible intention of taking it by force. As the situation could lead to war spanning the whole continent, I want to prevent that. As you might have already guessed, I'm asking for your help. I have heard that you are an exceptionally charismatic individual, sociable, talkative, and convincing. You are even half as good as I am told. If you are even half as good as I am told, you will have no trouble with entering army camps or influencing folks there, even without my help. I think that to you, the activity itself would be the greatest reward, but you should also think about all the contracts you make here. I'm willing to help you with that. If my offer piqued your interest, please make your way to the end of the Iazon River. I'll have someone deliver you your instructions and introduce you to your colleagues, possible colleagues. Saka, what the? Here, where is it? I called you this. Sakahu. And then the other one is Axikuk. Yeah, or I don't know. I am sorry. I'm sorry if this is from your language and I'm butchering it. I apologize. Saka what? Saka who? Okay.
Okay, so I am Timbatro, who is the gecko. So, to Timbatro. My name is Marin. We have not met, but you might have heard of me. A long time ago, I traveled with your great-grandfather to many exotic locations to search for adventure. Once I heard that your travels had brought you to South America, I realized that you might be willing to help me. The peace of this continent is threatened, and to keep the situation in control, I am reaching out to skilled individuals such as yourself. The two sides of this escalating crisis, the Macaws and the Ocelots, have been at each other's throats before. Fortunately, these situations have not led to a real war in a very long time. This time, however, it seems that local field level action is needed. I am long past my prime and most useful when using my various contracts for information. For this reason, I need to hire help. My sources tell me that you are a seasoned traveler, one that could easily pass for a harmless and maybe even a beneficial warrior anywhere on the battlefield. I have also heard that you possess a creative mind capable of gathering ideas and plans on the spot. In short, I have reason to believe that you do well on the field. With my contracts and influence behind you, even more so. I understand that asking all this of you would be unreasonable without adequate pay. I have kept all the maps we made with your great-grandfather, and I would be happy to give them to you in exchange for your help. Should you accept my offer, make your way to the Azon. Is that what you said? Azon.
Sure.
Sorry,
yeah.
to where the Azon merges with the Atlantic. There you will receive further instructions and perhaps meet some of the other individuals I have contacted.
Excellent. So we've met up.
All right.
Here, you can have my letter too.
Thanks.
All right. So we have a first player token. Starting player. Pass the token to the right, but it doesn't matter, 2-player. So before that, I guess we can deal with attack as it happens.
Yeah, maybe once we get to the first attack, just so we can...
Yep. And here's the damage tokens, which you'll see us pile out. They're like little wooden circles that will stack on top of each other to show damage. Okay. So let's find out who's first.
Here, I got this one if that's easier.
Okay. So yeah, roll highest will go first.
5.
5.
Oh, I didn't even roll that on camera, sorry.
I rolled a 4. Okay, so you're first.
I'm first. Okay.
So
So it's kind of hard because we don't really know any information this turn.
Yeah. But we know, okay, so I just showed the one leader, but here's the stats. Okay, so we know this leader, and here's his soldiers, what their stats are. 3 attack, 2 range, so it's the same, except for these guys have no defense and only 5 health. Okay, and these 3 are all soldiers. They just have different bases on them, showing they're from a different like unit of the army, like they're a different platoon or that kind of thing. I don't know. But the leader is separate, and he's got his own stats, and he's in the back. Okay, over here, like I said, there's warriors and archers, and yes, the art in this game is awesome. So the warriors, 3 attack, 2 range, 0 defense, 5 health. So same as the Macaws, soldiers. Okay, their soldiers are the same. Soldiers versus warriors. But the archers, these archers have 3 range, 3 attack, and 0 defense, 5 health. Okay, and there's only 1 archer. This is the archer on this side, just this one little guy here, and these other 2 are warriors. Okay. So right now it's 4 motivation versus 6.
Yeah.
So we need to probably take out some of these guys to reduce that and make sure these guys see their motivation reduction cards before these guys really do. And we got to make sure one faction kind of doesn't wipe out the other, because then we lose. So what are you going to do? You're standing on a bridge in the middle. You have no companions right now because you're not in the same space as either faction.
Right.
But you get a turn, play as many actions as you want. You're limited only by the cards you have. And then it passes to the next player. And I will take, at the end of your turn, you'll draw 2 cards.
Yep.
Then it passes to me. And remember, I'm on your turn. I can play cards that give you influence if you need it. Same with you on my turn. And then once we're done, it goes to these guys drawing these cards from their order decks to find out what they're going to do. And then at the end, we check if the resolution is done. Either they're both ready to withdraw or one of them has been wiped out. And then we win or lose. Or we go on to the next round, do the same thing where it goes to the first player and both players take their turns. And then we pass on to them.
Okay, so I'm thinking about using this card just as a move card, because obviously being in the center, I'm not with anybody right now. And then I could look at 2 cards of one of the sides and we can kind of have an idea of what's happening before your turn. Or I could use this one as a move and then use some fortification to kind of beef up these guys a little bit.
Yeah, like these guys are on spots that give them each 1 defense, but this guy doesn't. This guy's like kind of like open for the taking.
Yeah. However, though, looking at 2 cards seemed rare as you were just fanning through the deck quickly. Yeah. So it's like part of me doesn't want to just throw this away for a move. Just to. And
what can you do the ability for?
You may move one of your companion units a space with you while you travel during your turn.
Oh, okay. So you have to use other cards for movement, and you could spend that to have units move with you.
Yeah. Let's do my first idea. Because we don't really have any information, let's move with this card for 2. So I can move 2 spaces. Do we want to look at these guys so you know if you have to protect those guys or...
Your call.
Let's move.
I don't know.
Okay, let's
like
move.
Maybe we want to stop these guys from covering and attacking right now.
Yeah.
And we want these guys to attack or maybe cover.
Okay, so I'm just going to move 1. I don't need to use all my movement points. And then I will use this for the influence and I will...
Remember, you don't have to spend your cards. You can save them.
I know.
Another thing you can also do on your turn that we did not explain is on your turn you could choose to do nothing. But if you choose to do nothing, you could discard a card in your hand to draw a new card. So if you feel like you don't have what you need, you could just say, I pass, I'll discard a card, draw a new one, and pass to the other player or pass to them. So
true.
That's also an option.
No, I think I want to look at 2 cards from...
So because you're only in a space with the Macaws, they're your companion right now. You can only mess with their deck. But I can play influence to help you look at more cards. And you could choose which each one of these symbols you're doing influence action. You have 2 influence points. You can do each point separately, so you don't have to use it all. So you could just draw 1 card and look at it and say, I'm done. That's all I need to know. Put it back. Or you can draw 2 from the same deck, 1 from each. You can then ask me while you still have those 2 cards in hand. You could say, Rob, can I get some influence because I didn't see what we need and I really need to bury these 2 strike cards that are going to attack. I need to draw the next one, hopefully find something that I can put on top so that prevents them from doing it.
Yeah.
So what do you want to draw from?
I'd like
Deploy or the task?
The task first, 1.
Okay, there's 1 task.
Okay, so we did get a strike, so they will attack.
And normally this is private. Mel would just look at this herself. She could describe it and whatever. But yeah, we're playing on video, so we're just going to keep it open.
So they are going to strike, and it would be all of the star bases are going to attack, which I do not like this idea. So let's look at 1 more task card, because I played for 2. I probably should.
Yep. So the next one you got is cover. So this is for the star bases. So that is the leader, and this warrior right here will get +2 defense on the turn that this card is drawn. So it's the same faction as it's on this one.
Mm-hmm. But I think that this is fine to go... to be on top, the cover, because these guys could attack these guys.
as being closer anyways.
But this gives the... Oh, I see.
Right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
circles
maybe.
are-
Well, it depends. Is it the gear guys go or the circle?
I don't know.
We don't know. That's another reason why you might want to look and see who is actually going first,
I know,
right?
but that's what I'm thinking, like, I can't do all that. So now that we have this information, you might be able to look at one of the other decks. So I think I'm going to put it back where cover is on the top and strike is underneath so we know.
Okay.
And then that is me.
All
I
right.
will draw two cards.
2 cards for you.
Okay.
All right. So I have Lost Missive. Choose one of your companion units. Discard the top card of that army's order deck. Choose one of your damage. Choose one of your damage companion units. Remove 2 damage tokens. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I will.
Just while you're thinking that, Layla's heading out to
Oh,
go play D&D.
good
She'll
luck
catch us
with-
later. No
yes.
problem. Good luck. Enjoy.
Have fun. Have fun. Thank you for stopping in. All right, so we're going
Lots
to.
of fortification you have there.
Yeah, which is what I want to use it for, I think. So yeah, I'm going to fortify. I'm going to use. I'll use emergency care to get 2 fortifications. I'll put 1 here and 1 here. And this one, I don't need to discard any cards.
You could just hold that one because then you're still going to draw 2.
I will hold it, actually. Good idea. Okay, so then I'm done. I'll draw my 2. So some more influence move, fortification. I could do some food poisoning or move around a guy with my friendly guide. Okay, so now it's on to these guys. So we're going to just draw their orders. So for the Macaws, they saw an evasive. It's going normal speed. And we know it's the cover, which you set up there for this this group of units. And on the other side, it's a unknown speed. It'll be based on a die roll. So you roll the die, and you'll find the speed of the card based on this. So,
But I did get the change of plan. So when this card is drawn or
Yep.
discarded for any reason, immediately shuffle the red. I got to
yep,
just
put it
shuffle
back
these
in with any cards that were in the discard pile. Obviously, it's the first cards we're seeing, so there are none.
And then we're going to draw another one.
Yep.
Okay, and we are going to get cover. So they're both going to have cover to start.
And what speed? We got to find your speed.
Yeah.
So here we go. I'm going to roll a die to find out your speed. I got a 3.
So 3 is slow speed.
So that means my normal cover is going to happen before your slow cover.
Yep.
Not that it matters because no one's attacking. So the cover is just kind of, this turn is just them digging in. They're ready, but no one's pushing forward. They're both trying to psych each other out. So
Yeah.
cover, nothing happened. We're all good there. All right. So we check. We're now in the, what is this phase called exactly? Status phase, I think? Yeah, status phase. So again, the 2 conditions in this first scenario are check. Are they both ready to withdraw? Are they both in the green 1 and 2? Nope. So we can't win yet. Do we lose though? Are one of them at the red flag? And did they fully get wiped out? Nope. Okay, we didn't lose yet. Continue with next round. All right. So first player token passes. It's now me. I am starting player.
So we do know that the Macaws are going to attack. They're going to strike these 2 guys back here, the star-based.
These 2 guys will strike, and they're
Yes.
range 3.
Yes.
So I want to show this. So this guy can attack range 3 away. He'll always prioritize straight in front of him, and it's kind of cool. This is very interesting how they do this. So attack prioritizing. Closest enemy. That's you.
Excuse me.
All right. Closest enemy. So you got to look at how they're facing on this. So this helps with, this little arrow thing helps tell where they are. And again, this might change in future scenarios. So first, it will look forward. So in this example, it's pointing to the right here, east. So the unit would look in front of it. That's where it wants to hit first. If there is nothing in front of it at range 1, it will then start looking around it at range 1 and start hitting there. If there's nothing there and it can still do next range, it will go out to range 2 and try to look in front and start going around. And then range 3 if it has 3 range, and keeps going like that. And that's what it'll decide to attack. If there's 2 units on the same space, it will attack the most damage unit, then the lowest ranked unit, and then randomly with a die roll if they're both tied at that point. And remember, rank is in the top right of the card. So I forgot to show that for these guys. The rank of the warrior on the Ocelot side is 1. The rank of the archers is 2. And they do not have a rank 3 leader right now. I'm assuming we'll see one later in the campaign. But
Or
who
maybe
knows?
not.
Maybe not. Maybe they're just wild.
They're
and
just rogue, right?
Yeah, they have like no organization, right?
Yeah.
And we don't see a tier 2 for the Macaws right now. So will they get a tier 2 later? Who knows? But I assume. But
I don't know.
so it's kind of different that they're a little asymmetric. All right. So I want to bring these guys down. And to do that, I might want to damage these guys by poisoning their food. Might be a thing.
Also, taking their leader down will automatically win.
And what was the next one? An attack? A strike?
It's a strike, yes.
Ah, okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mess with this side. And I'm going to, first, I need to move in. So I will use Friendly Guide to move 2. And I will move 1, 2. Okay, I'll go in with these guys. Now what I'm going to do, no, you know what I'll do? I'll go in the same spot you're in. I'll just use one movement. I'll go in the same one you're in.
Okay.
I want to weaken this guy. So what I will do, I will poison his food. Choose one of your undamaged companion units, give it 2 damage tokens. Okay. So this guy is 5 health in our space here. So I'm going to give him 2 damage. And you just put the 2 little discs there beside the unit, and you got to keep them moving with it, I guess. So it has 2 damage. So 3 more. That thing's wiped out. We put it over here, and then we'll drop motivation. Hopefully. Hopefully that's how it goes down. So I'm hoping with their 3 attack that one of them will wipe this out.
Well, hopefully they're attacking.
We don't know. So then that leads me to my next part. I will choose one of your companion units and discard the top card from its army's order deck. Since I know the next one is a strike,
Yep.
I will just discard it. This doesn't mean we won't see another strike, but I'm just going to try to prevent these guys from doing some damage at this point. So there's my turn. Played all my cards. End of my turn, I'll draw 2. So I got Emergency Care and Mixed Groups. So Mixed Groups could choose one of your companion units, replace the insignia of its army task card with the star during this round. The scheme has no effect if the army has no units in the star group.
Okay. So I kind of have an idea what I think I'm going to do here. I think I'm going to use this distraction for the 3 movement, and I'm going to move... I don't know who they're going to attack if they did, but let's do... So I can move up to 3. So 1... I'm just debating who to move in with because all my companion units have stealth until you leave the space I'm going to use.
Oh, and that will stay out and play in front of you. It's a passive ability until you move. Where that doesn't apply, then you would discard it. So yeah, there are ongoing effects in this game too.
Let's actually move here. Okay, so that was 2 movement. That's fine. And then I'm going to use my lookout. Okay, so I'm just going to put that...
Maybe just put it on the board.
Okay, yeah, to show that it's used.
It's in play.
It's in play. Okay, so right now, all my companion units in this space have stealth until I leave.
Here you go.
Okay, thank you. So I got a carrier pigeon or encouraging words. Okay.
All right. So now onto these guys. So the Macaws. I got swift cover. So they're going to be super fast at defending themselves.
Okay, and I got regular strike.
So they're normal.
So they're normal speed.
So they go after this cover. So all these guys have +2 defense.
Okay.
And your guys are going after that, and they're going to attack with the...
Yep.
It's these shapes?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's these 2 guys on the outside, the archer and the warrior at the top. So
the
range.
The range is...
Let's do the archer first, okay?
3.
3. 1, 2, 3. Can't attack this guy because he's hiding in the forest and he's stealthy. Only units adjacent to it can attack it. So we know he can't reach this guy. But we would start going out, let's say 2, and then start going around. And like this guy though, 1, 2, 3.
No, that guy only has 2 range.
No.
Oh, sorry.
You're not getting it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about...
So this archer,
I get
1,
it.
2, 3 is 3 range away. So he actually can attack this guy.
Okay.
So he will. So it does 3 damage, but this guy has, you check his defense to minus it, or any defense bonuses on the board, there are none, or any fortifications, there are none. So 3 goes through, and it kills this guy. But first, these guys are attacking simultaneously, so we have to check, because if they both are targeting the same unit, they will combine their attack into one single attack, and even if it's overkill, it all goes after the same unit. Okay, so let's check where this guy's going. Yes.
Sorry, they just do have cover, so they do have some defense.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So,
But
but let's find out the target.
Yeah, this guy has a range of 2.
2. 1, 2. So this guy's his priority. So they are different targets.
Okay.
This guy is 2 away, but remember, the target is always in front, is the priority first before it starts spinning around, right?
Yep.
So they will attack separate targets, so we're fine. So this guy does have cover, So only one gets through.
Yes.
So it's now at 3 out of 5 health, or 2 out of 5 health left. This guy hits him.
For 3 as well.
But
so
he only gets hit for 1
Yeah.
because of the cover. So if I would have not discarded that top card,
that one would have been dead.
then that guy would have been dead. These back guys would have not been able to hit because they're only 2 range away. I probably should have left that strike on top now that I'm looking at what's happening here, but I didn't know what was going on over here.
No, that's okay.
So,
That's
and
okay.
I didn't know a cover would have came after it. It could have still been another strike.
Exactly.
So these are the interesting parts of this game. I love it.
Okay.
All right.
So that was their turn. So on to me.
Did we win or lose?
Oh, sorry. No.
Okay. Go
Okay.
ahead. Your turn.
All right.
If you guys have any questions in the chat, drop them. We'll look them up if I have to, from what we know, from the first 11 pages of the campaign book. But again, this is our first play. We haven't played Beyond this yet, and we do have the next stream scheduled already. So if you are curious to watch this Beyond, you can hit up the playlist or the main page, youtube.com/Rob's Gaming Table, and you can set reminders for the next streams. If you're watching this live, Tuesday is the next one in the evening, and then 7 p.m. Eastern, and then 7 p.m. Eastern on Thursday is scenario 3. We hope, unless it makes us replay scenarios. We're not sure. How long does a mission/chapter is any idea? Okay, the game on itself says 60 to 120 minutes. That's what it says on the box, but for this scenario, Sajat, it is it tells you this one's only 30 to 60 minutes. But this is like the most stripped down the game can be. We're playing with like simple components. Yeah. So
And we did do a lot of explaining in the beginning. So
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so it's my turn. So I do have a carrier pigeon which says choose another player to draw a card from the resource deck. Then they give you 1 card.
So you could let me draw a card and then I just throw a card at you.
Yeah, and it can be any one.
Yep.
Interesting.
So you could say what you need, what you're looking for, whatever. If you want one of my cards, that's the way you can get it.
I don't really know yet.
But if you're playing solo, the cool part is if you're playing solo with this card, instead just draw a card from the resource deck. So you just draw a card straight up. So
Yeah,
they
that's
thought
cool.
about it for solo. Yeah, look at this guy. I love it. The art's awesome.
So I do kind of want to stay in the space, giving this guy stealth right now with my lookout. So I could let you draw a card. And then you can see, and then...
I feel like we need to start figuring out what is happening here and start lining some things up.
Okay,
but
so then I can...
I don't know. You can do whatever, but I'm not sure. But
Yeah, no, I can look at... I'm with these guys, so I can look and manipulate these decks.
yep.
So let's look at... So let's spend this one for an influence. Let's look at the... Yeah, I'm not worried so much about this one. I'm more worried about the task, I think.
Unless you're worried about these guys getting that card that reduces their motivation. Time Slayer, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you so much for following.
Okay. So that's a strike. So we know if we leave this on the top that the cog bases, that's these ones, right?
Yep, the same 2 guys that attacked last time are going
They
to do
are
it
going to
again.
attack again, which means that they will hit. So I think, okay, let's leave that on the top. Or I have to keep dry. I have to do another.
Well, do you want to even do another one? You don't
I
have
don't
to.
know.
You can be good with that and put it back.
Yeah, that one's done.
Okay.
Or do I just wait? No, I think actually I'm going to save this one, so maybe I can use it for fortification or something next turn.
Okay. So right now
Yeah.
these gear guys are attacking.
Yes.
Okay, let's see if I can find some information on the other side for you. I don't want to heal anyone right now. That's good for later, though, I'm sure. Choose one of your companion units, replace... no, I'm going to use this one to peek. Not that it will let me do much if I do. I don't know, but you can spend that if I need you to,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Okay, I'm going to spend this one for the influence, and I'm going to look at the Macaws since I'm a companion with them right now. And we'll see what their task card is. Oh, they're going to strike also.
Oh, the circle units. Oh, now the bad thing was I didn't look at how fast, because now that's when it would come in handy to know
Yep.
who's going to go first.
Yep. So you could, if you want me to look at another card and stop this from happening, possibly, you could drop this card to the discard pile. I get the influence, and I choose which deck it's from, but it's only from where I am. I'm just getting help from you, basically, but I can't look at their deck.
Oh, I also didn't draw 2 cards, so sorry.
Yes,
Let me
that's
just
important.
do that first.
Very
'cause
important.
Okay.
So you can't give me move, you can't give me fortification, you can't use your abilities on the cards. You can only use them for influence.
Yeah, I'll give you one. I'll give you an influence that you can use. However,
To look at the task deck. Yeah,
however
I think
you'd
so.
like. A move.
Oh, a move.
Interesting.
Okay, so I could have the move instead, but it would be the move of these two guys. But I don't know if I want that leader moving forward.
No, because if the leader's dead.
No, it's fine if the leader's hurt. We just don't want them dead. But I have a heal. I might save that for this weird situation. Okay, maybe I'll just let them strike. Maybe I'll just let them strike. No.
I wish I looked at how fast they were going to go.
I'll let them move because I want this guy coming out of the stealth. Let's do that. And then the archer can shoot him.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to keep move on top. And then we know strike from the circles is coming after that, okay? Remember that if you can.
Yep.
All right. I'll save emergency care. And then I will draw 2 cards. And I got Carrier Pigeon and Distraction. So it's messing with the range, drawing cards, and a little bit more influence.
Okay.
Okay, so now...
So that's it. So...
All right, so these guys, let's see what they do. So the Macaws, start of army phase, actually, they're revoked.
Oh,
they're tired of this. They're tired of this. Their motivation's dropping here. This is good, though, because they are ahead. We want them to drop. At the start of the army phase, cancel this task part of the order, so they're not going to move. And then we're going to lower this side's motivation by 1.
Okay. And I have Reckless Strike, which is normal speed. Each unit in this group deals and takes double damage until the end of this round after adjusting the incoming damage based on fortification and shields and everything.
Okay, and shatter.
So,
yeah. So first, this happens first. We'll drop them down to 5 motivation. Great. Okay. Now you guys are going to do the reckless stuff. So let's check this guy. He has 3 range. 1, 2. So we know it's this guy again.
Yep.
Okay. Minus shields, which this guy has none. He's going to get double. We know this guy's attacking the top guy. Still, that's his target, right?
Yep.
Nothing changed there.
Nope.
Defense, again, this guy has none. So double attack is 6. So both these guys are getting wiped out right here, right?
Yeah, which is fine because that just puts them to even on the board here.
So 2 of the Macaws have been wiped. 1, 2. They're down to 3.
Oh, they're at 3. Okay.
Right?
Oh, yeah, because it went down
3.
1.
Yeah, it went down 1. So they're at 3. We now need to get these guys down into the green. These guys are 1 away.
Okay.
So that's, yeah, it's a fine balance. We got to make sure now these guys outnumber these guys. So we got to make sure these guys don't accidentally wipe both these guys out. If the last unit's gone or the leader's gone, these guys will fully go down to 0 motivation.
Yep.
And we're in trouble.
Yep.
Okay, that's very interesting.
So that was that.
They're done. Okay, I'm first player. It's not over yet. Okay,
Nope.
Back to next turn. All right, I'm first. Oh.
Well, I'm definitely going to move out of this guy's space, but maybe I need to look at their cards.
Yeah. I am going to choose another player to draw a card from the resource deck. It's you. You draw a card. Now you can give me. Now you got to give me one.
Got to give you one. Here you go.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Choose one of your companions. Look at the bottom card from its army deck. Either place. Army's order deck.
It has to be your companion, sorry, so you're not with anybody.
Yeah, I'm
yet.
not with anybody. Okay, I'm going to move. I'm going to use emergency care. I'm going to move. I'll move here. Okay. And now I will use. I feel like we need to dig for their card, their revoked card.
Well, I can do it.
I know, and I have influence in my hand here. Oh, but I will draw, right?
Yeah, you'll
okay.
draw.
I keep forgetting that. Like, I want to save to have influence, but I don't need to.
But you don't know that you'll draw influence.
Okay. All right. I'll spend an influence, and I will look at. Let's look at here.
Was there 2 cards that lowered their influence in each ploy deck?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
2 revokes. So having one of this guy's revokes come up is fine as long as these guys don't
Die.
get killed.
Okay.
So I need to, what was next? A strike?
Yes.
Okay, so don't want to mess with that. Let me see in here. I'm actually going to use that influence to look at this one. So a swift. So they're
So
striking
fast
fast.
strike.
But their range sucks.
No, they're not going to hit anybody, right? Because they don't move.
But maybe I can make them move.
Can you?
Okay, so this one's used. Let me think here. So I'm going to leave that swift on the top. How do we do this? Yeah, we need these guys to move faster, actually. So maybe I don't... Let me see. I'm actually...
Look at one more.
Yeah, I'm going to spend one more to look at one more card. Because maybe I can make them slow strike or something. Oh, twin strike at slow speed. Here's what we want to happen. So maybe we want those guys, if we can, to get them to move forward. That drops their motivation by 1 from leaving the tower. And maybe one of them can get killed because these guys will double strike them.
Right.
And remember, they have less... Yeah, we need these guys to move very much. So I'm going to put twin on the top. And we know it's a twin, then a swift. So these guys are going to swift strike, but right now they can't hit anyone. So that is me done with my cards. We need to make these guys move. And we can always look at the discard piles.
Yeah, and we need the cog movement.
Or even this guy. The circle's fine.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
doesn't get this guy off.
But it gets
of
them out of fortifications and stuff too. So
Yeah.
I think we need to weaken these guys a bit, throw them into harm's way, is what we need to do. So I'm going to draw 2 cards. And, oh, I have emergency carrot. Oh, but that can't draw me any more cards. That's fine. I'm going to save the emergency carrot in case I need to keep these guys healed. Okay.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did get 3 influence worth on here.
Okay, so I'm gonna definitely spend an influence to look at their order or task deck.
Yep.
And we get cover. So it's not what we want.
I need to know what it's slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twin strike is slow. Perfect. So we need normal speed also.
Okay, so I do need to look at another one if you do want to give me.
Yes. Here. Encouraging words I'll use for another influence.
Okay, so now we get a strike. Ugh.
Okay, so I will now give you 2 more influence.
All right, so we got a circle movement.
You can choose the other deck at this point. Every time you use an influence point, you can draw from the other deck. So if you want, I know it does not going to make a difference, but maybe. I don't know. I don't have any other way to give you influence, so that's too bad.
Well, this could.
Yeah.
Just.
It's your choice. You don't need to keep drawing from that same deck.
We just have more information if I do.
But we also have more information with what you got in hand there, but we might not need that info. So it's your call.
No, let's.
It's not going to make a difference. Go ahead. But move happens before strikes in general, so we should be fine.
Yeah. Okay. So we definitely want to put the move.
Yep.
On the top. And yours, we only know the top card, right?
Twin, and then it's a fast.
But we don't know
This,
what's after strike on the next card?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so... Okay, let's do it like this. So we're going to do move, cover, strike, cover.
Okay.
Okay?
So who's moving? It's the circle guy in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay. I really wish it was this guy.
But I guess we need more, and I don't have any more to check.
I ain't got nothing for you.
So, okay, so we're going to keep the move on the top. Okay, so I spent that one. Now I'm going to move. Where am I going to move?
What do you need to move for?
I don't need to move, actually, because he's going to move out of my space.
I say keep the heal in case we need to save someone from dying.
Okay, so then that's me. So I will draw 2 cards.
Yep.
Okay, so I got local contacts and encouraging words.
Okay, so let's see what the units are going to do. Whoa, twin strikes.
Whoa.
Holy, I had no idea. So each unit in this group has -1 attack until the end of the round, but it resolves this order's task again immediately after resolving for the first time. And it's going to go at slow, and strike happens after either a move or a cover. So attack with units of the circle base. Oh, I have no circle base left.
Oh, so then you... Oh.
Oh, we maybe messed that whole thing up.
No. Well, we didn't know at the time.
But no, I would have saw this card, and I would have tossed it away, and I would have to draw another card. And when those guys got eliminated, we actually would have cleared all the circles out of here, out of the discard. So these are out of the game. Yeah, we missed that step. Hold on. So I would have actually looked at this next one. Oh, which is fine.
Okay.
I would have saw, yeah, okay, perfect. This works out good. It was the other strike was next. So that other card would have gone away. I would have still got to see another card, which is fine. and this one now comes off. And this is still working out the way we wanted it.
Yes. Okay, and I
Yeah,
drew...
forgot about that part.
Oh, I put them on the
Whoa.
wrong side. Sorry.
Whoa.
I drew a bold move. So we're going to roll a die based on the roll, adjust the range, but doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So, okay. And I got normal
No, it's
move.
adjust the attack. It's their
Oh,
attack
their
strength.
attack.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're not even attacking, so
Exactly.
we don't need to do that.
So a move happens first, even though it's normal speed. A move happens before. It's just that. But this. What? Did I not draw? Oh, right here. It's right here. Slow speed. So either way. Okay, so move happens first with the circle guy.
Yep.
He moves one forward. That's it.
Yep.
Done. There's no other circle-based units.
Yep. We don't need to roll the die because it's not attacking.
So this one is a star-based unit. Is going to attack, but -1 attack. So let's start with this guy. He is 2 range. 1, 2, nothing in front. So he starts going around the 2. Oh, there's a guy at 2. Get him. All right. So he's going to attack for -1. So it's 2. And
He has no defense.
okay, so he takes 2 damage. And this bridge is not like a lake. It's just like a plane. So no adjustment to the defense there.
Sorry, and your twin, did it do extra damage or something?
-1 damage. Okay. This guy, he is going to attack range 2. Hits for 2 more. -1 damage. Okay, let me finish resolving the card, Mel. And then resolve this order's task again immediately after resolving it the first time. Okay, so now we do it again. And then this guy is going to attack. What? How much health does this guy?
5. One more. Yep.
So he totally gets wiped. Yeah, and they just attack the same unit. So
Yep.
even if there was another guy at 2 range, if this was the target of the same guy, they would all just group their attack against him and kind of like do an overkill, similar to Zombicide, and just wipe the one guy out, no matter how much damage is
Okay,
done.
so this guy is now dead.
Oh no!
So he's gonna lose some motivation. So he's at 3, and you're at 3, right? So one
Yep.
more on each side, and we're good.
1 or 2 more on each side would bring him down. We're okay.
Okay.
Tension.
That's
All
it?
right. I forgot to
Oh, you
draw
didn't draw.
2 cards. Yeah. Oops.
Okay.
Oh no, I did. I spent them
Oh,
on
you
your
spent them
turn.
for me.
Whoops. Let me shuffle those.
Okay. So we know next for this deck is cover.
I don't know what this
and
one
we
is.
don't have
but...
any circles on my side now, so let
Oh
me
yeah,
just
yeah.
quickly
So
remove.
we gotta eliminate those. And if you ever draw a circle now, you just remove it from the game.
I believe that was I think they were circle covers, but I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, Sakabra. This is very interesting. It's like it's very different. This game is very unique. When I read about it, I like had trouble understanding. I was like, wait, it's hurting because every time I see hexes and miniatures, it's like skirmish. You're fighting, and that does exist in this game. There is a mode for that in the rulebook. But the default mode of the game, this whole peacemaking thing, it's like the guy's genius to have thought of this as like an aspect of things. Like it's like to add that to a game and make the game is centered around having the factions kind of like withdraw from the battle and peacekeep and lie and sneak and influence and stuff. Very neat. I think it's super awesome. I like it.
It feels more of like a puzzle.
Yes.
Okay.
And another game that actually came out after that I heard about after this game, and I think it's on Kickstarter or was on Kickstarter, War of Whispers, which is by Starling Games, who the production quality will not even be close to this. But Starling Games, they have a version similar to this style game where there's warring factions on the board. It's touted as inspired by Game of Thrones, a board game, but meant to be short, and you're just playing like Littlefinger and Varys, and you're kind of manipulating this generic fantasy Game of Thrones ripoff. But that game is similar idea to this, but I think this one did it first. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, War of Whispers, I think it's called. But if you find this interesting, I would recommend also checking that game out because that game looked interesting to me too, with the same similar idea. But the production quality in this game is like perfect. Love it.
Okay. So I think I'm going to use, no, let's use, I'm going to use a fortification. I'm going to try to protect one of these guys on this side, and then we can let the other one fall if we don't see the loss of motivation. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
Because then,
Yep, but we can try to dig for that too. Because I want it to do it on this side too. But
Yeah, so I'm going to definitely do that there. So he now has 2.
or we just need to move this guy off of here.
Yeah,
If you
but
could
we
just move to
can't.
his space and move with him somehow. If you get that card that moves.
If I get that card,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh,
I spent that.
Okay.
I can look at the top of any army's order deck. So I could look at the top of this one just to know.
Yeah.
We know this is a cover, but I don't know. Okay, so let's do that. Let's look at what this one's going to do. Oh, this is going to lower on this side. So this
Okay.
is going to lower their motivation by 1
Okay.
on this side. Okay.
So then
We need to protect.
We need one of these guys to get eliminated then.
Or you need it on your side.
Or that, yeah, the revolt.
Okay, I am going to keep this emergency care just in case.
Yep.
So I will take 2 cards. That'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. On my turn.
Oh, that's all you have. Shoot.
Yep.
And you can't even spend an influence for me to spend any more for you.
Nope. I will just pass, and I'll discard and draw a card instead, and then I'll draw the cards at the end of my turn.
Okay.
So I got natural materials. Choose a space without a unit. Place 2 fortifications if possible. Oh, with a unit. False order. Choose one of your companion units. Look at the bottom card from his army's order deck. Either place it on the top or the bottom. And
No,
another
same.
false order. But all
Okay.
3 have influence, so I could on a turn look at 3 cards from a deck and make some changes there.
Okay, so
So-
we're flipping. You
Yep.
go first. Go ahead.
Oh, so change the plans.
Oh, so
So,
it's gonna
and
be
it's going to be swift. So this is going to take all of these, and we're going to shuffle them up.
Just while you're doing that, so we got revoked at the start of the army phase. Cancel the task part of the order
So no cover.
and lower their side by 1. So this side is now at 2. It is in the green.
So we need to get this one in the green and at the end of the round, and we're good.
Yeah.
But we need to make sure that doesn't drop to 0 or we lose.
Right. We're at a fine balance now with this
Well,
side.
watch this guy.
I will. I will. I have some emergency care just in case.
Okay.
And we've only seen one of these on this side. So
these guys are going to strike. Yep, both of those guys. A swift strike. So they already went. They're not covering.
No,
These guys are going to strike, but again, range of only 2.
they can't hit anybody.
So no range. So it flops. Okay, perfect. I'm first. All right, what can we do here? So I need to bring mine down 1 more.
Can you look? Can we dig for yours on your side?
Yes.
Because even if I did get it
All right.
again, we would still win.
So 1 influence. I'm looking at the next card in the ploy deck. It's regular.
I'll give you an influence.
I have,
oh, you have.
I have, let
you
me,
have.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll do some on my side. Next. Closing. Just before this task, move each unit in this group forward 1 space. This takes priority over all other effects. Okay, I'm going to spend the next one. Oh, I see the look at the bottom of the deck too as a strategy. Okay. And revoked. There it is.
Okay.
So I'm going to put that on top. And then I will put moving forward 1 space.
No, I put the regular first just in case.
But
or
I
the
might
regular
want
next.
them to move forward because I need them in range. Oh, these guys can hit at range 3, right?
Yeah, but you
But
don't.
this guy need to move out so he can get hit if that's the case. But I think we're okay because it shouldn't go beyond that as long as we can stop these guys from getting tanked. So the revoked will stop these guys from attacking. So we don't have to worry about them killing these guys. You just have to make this guy not move off of there.
Right, I'm gonna dig in.
But
a
if he
second.
does, it's fine.
Yeah, he'd still
So
be
I
at
think
1.
we're good.
But as long as he doesn't die at the same
Okay,
time.
so I'm done my turn. I'll draw 2 cards. Go ahead.
Okay, so I
Oof,
think
boys.
we did know that it was cover.
I don't
It was
remember.
strike, cover.
feel like
There
we need
wasn't.
a-
No, there was a move in
I
there.
feel like we need a notebook for this game because my brain can never remember.
No, there is a move in there because I did cover, move, cover. But I'm worried that the cover is going to be the circles who are no longer there. So I think I'm going to have to
But
double,
in that case, you would remove it and draw the next one
which
anyway.
would be a move.
Okay.
But they're not. Oh, we don't.
They're
know
not
what,
attacking.
We don't know what this one is. do
Doesn't
we?
matter. Revoke stops it.
Right. Okay. So it doesn't even matter.
Nope. I
So
don't think it matters.
Then how about this? How about I just fortify everybody on my side? Throw some
Or if you think you're good, just pass, dump a card, draw a new card. I don't know.
No, I'm gonna.
You could fortify, yeah.
Yeah, let's do some fortification here. I can do each one separate, right? I don't have to. Actually, it doesn't matter. Let's do
So here's
that.
the no, revoke will cancel their move if they do move. I'm just trying to think of scenarios where they could drop twice. Like if a revoke came off, it would drop 1, but then it would stop a move. So you wouldn't have to worry about this guy moving off and then
No.
and also dropping it again, I think.
And let's do one more here, just in case we've done something incorrect.
Okay.
Okay. So that's me. I will draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, here we go. Macaws. Whoa, they're revoking a move.
Okay. Oh my gosh, and I got a revoking strike. So they're both going to lower.
Okay, drop down to 2. You drop down to 1.
And then that
We
would be...
end the round, go to status phase, we check. And I just want to make sure 100% we did this right. Where is it? Game conditions for number 1. You check them in order. So later in the campaign, we might see like multiple here. You lose this scenario if at least one side has 0 motivation. Check. No.
Nope,
Move to the
we're
next
good.
one. You win the scenario if both sides are ready to withdraw. We check. Are they in the green? Yes. Are they in the green?
Yep.
Yes. They withdraw. We win. Okay? Boom. Done. Do not flip more pages until the game end condition is met. It's been met. So now, spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Warning. You
gosh.
can't really see there, but yes, warning. Warning. Now is your chance to step away. Morning, Reese. Step away if you don't want to be spoiled for the results. There's some story and some choices and things I think that are going to come on the next page because this is a campaign game. It's not Legacy where it's fully changed, but there's hidden stuff, and it might let us open a box or check some envelope or some. We don't know. So we're flipping for the first time, and we're going to see some things, but it does say spoilers. So now is your chance to tune away. We're going to go back to the table now. That's your last warning. Okay? I just want to change there to wake anyone up who was like falling asleep or doing something else while we're playing. Spoiler warning. All right. If you're falling asleep with headphones in or driving, I just scared you. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Stop. Do not flip more pages until game is met. We're about to do this now. Here we go. Spoiler time. And again, episode 2 and 3 are already scheduled. If you want spoilers, you're okay with them, tune in next time. But here we go. Let's see what happens.
But be careful, because I don't know. Oh, stop. Okay.
No, it's all good.
Okay, we're all good.
So the end of the next pages say stop. Don't read until you're good for second scenario. So
Okay.
Scenario 1 completed.
Yes.
Each scenario can end in multiple ways marked with a brown note. Game end state. These different developments are described after each scenario and will affect your campaign games in various ways. You're required to only read the part concerning your scenario result. Okay, so we'll just read part of this. So if you're playing this and you're playing this later or you played this already and you maybe lost, you will see a different outcome here. So I'm just going to be reading what happened in our scenario. So again, you can play through this multiple times. You can fully reset this campaign and do it over and over again and have different results. And the results will affect your upcoming games in various ways. You're required to only read the part concerning the scenario result in addition to any new rules. In this case, there are new outcome cards and guidelines on how to use the campaign log to track your progress. So again, we're very early, so it's not going to be anything crazy here, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
So outcome cards, it's a new rule we unlocked. All right. It quickly became apparent to the adventurers that their actions will have severe and long-lasting consequences. Thrown in the middle of a serious altercation with the future of the continent at stake is a tough position. But the adventurers have no choice but to continue onwards, as Marin truly believes that by manipulating the events in a favorable direction, a prolonged conflict and a lot of unnecessary bloodshed can be avoided. However, finding that right direction is going to be tricky. Take the 11 new outcome cards from the top of the campaign deck and use them to form a new outcome deck. Make sure not to look at or reorder the cards in this deck. So Mel's going to grab so in the bottom here, just like any other campaign in Legacy game, she's going to start drawing off the campaign deck. And goodbye, Hans. Get out!
Oh, they all say outcome. Okay.
So yeah, draw them all, but don't change the order of them.
Nope, they're all labeled too, so.
Okay, these outcome cards include, after each scenario, draw and read the specified card collectively. These outcome cards include rewards and penalties for the next scenario. You only use one or the other depending on if you won the scenario or not. So, oh cool. So here's our outcome deck. Love the graphic design, the art on this game is great. Outcome 1. Oh, then there's outcome 2. Okay, let's see outcome 1. So outside resources. Wine, cheese, fruit, sweets, spices, all from faraway lands with exotic names, all far above their pay grade, sent by an anonymous benefactor. After setup, draw 2 cards from a resource deck. Show them to all players and collectively decide which 1 or 2 players place them into their hands. So if you lost, we would get the bad side of this, I guess. So it says they had a lot to move in very little time. Without a doubt, 1 or 2 crates would end up in pieces on the ground. After setup, collectively discard a total of 2 cards from your hands.
Okay, so
Wow.
that's good. So we get extra cards to start.
I think so.
Okay, I'm going to keep this on the top.
And yeah, just put this deck.
I'm going to put this deck. Well,
No, don't put it back on the top. It's a deck we need to use every time. I'm just going to put it over here for now.
Okay. And then
Okay, we'll figure out how to put it away after. All right. So it says, the name, reward, flavor, story, a reward effect. Then there's a penalty name, penalty, flavor, story, penalty effect. Rewards are one-time use effects which can be used on any player's turn unless stated otherwise on the card. Oh, so it's like a little advantage card. We can
like a
blow it.
bonus.
Yeah, we can play it at any time.
Okay.
But
so
if
this
that one says it's set up, though.
Yeah. Okay.
All penalties are mandatory, and you're clearly instructed on when to resolve them. In case there are any decisions involved with these outcome cards, all players must unanimously agree when and how to use them. Okay. All outcomes always apply only to for the next scenario. Okay. If you don't use your reward during it, the reward is lost. So try to make full use of them. Return the outcome cards back to the outcome deck after resolving them or once the scenario is over. A campaign log. So we now have the campaign log. Use the campaign log to track your progress through the story. Check how the game ended and write the corresponding heading on the game end state column. There's also columns for date and players' names. So, for example...
I don't have a pen on me, but I will fill this in.
We'll do this after. For example, it's saying Scarlet Macaws won in this example, what date it happened on, and who was playing.
So, in this example...
We won. Peacekeepers won, I guess.
Peacemakers won?
Peacemakers won, yes.
Okay.
I guess so. So, example campaign log of first scenario. You can find a spot reserved for any defeated leaders at the top of the campaign log. If a leader is defeated during your scenario, write their name here.
Oh, so they go on the top
yeah,
here.
defeated leaders.
Wow.
Defeated leaders. Uh-oh. Gotta be careful. We gotta keep Xochitl from dying, maybe.
Interesting.
Gotta keep him alive.
Well, he's the only leader we have so far.
Only leader right now, yep. If a leader is defeated, write their name. Later, if any scenario has a defeated leader marked in the setup, do not place said leader on the game board. Instead, lower the size motivation by 1.
Wow.
Oh, so there's ramifications. These are like unique characters that can die during the campaign and they're done. They don't come back. Yeah, and it affects future scenarios.
Wow.
It just became real here. It just became real.
Wow.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Both sides withdrew. We don't. Yes, we read this. So I'm not going to read the part about if Scarlet Macaws won. I'm not going to read if they both surrendered at the same time. So I guess there's a way if they both killed each other and then we end the turn, they both could have surrendered. So we don't read that, and we're not going to read the Ocelots winning. So I'll just read both sides withdrew.
Okay.
Here we go. Expressing enthusiasm or relief aren't Marin's biggest strengths. Still, he felt both of them more than he had in years after hearing what the adventurers had accomplished. He put his thoughts on paper and sent the letter to the adventurers. I might even go as far to admit that I had minor doubts about this plan. Doubts that have now vanished. Don't let this first success lower your guard, though. Future endeavors will need your full concentration, and hubris, born of success, will only hinder you. If we continue involving ourselves in these matters and influencing the right folks, this incident can be over sooner than I had dared hope. The Kuchia scouts did not take over the outpost, true, but their commanders will get the details about the border defenses. That is what they were after in the first place. What they chose to do with that information is out of our hands. At least for the time being, I will see what I can scrape together. Meanwhile, you should follow the river downstream, where you will find Mariokan bridges, the primary river crossing in the area. If House Kochia decides to invade, that will be the obvious choice of route, and I will need you there when they arrive. The letter ends with a wish and more words of encouragement. Good luck and safe travels. This was an important first step. Marin's letter was certainly something new for the adventurers. In their usual careers, appreciative words had been few and far between. Having finished reading the letter, the adventurers head east with their next mission fresh in their minds. Congratulations on fulfilling your victory condition in the first scenario. Both sides withdrew from the battlefield. draw the outcome card number 1, and read the reward section, which we already did. You can use this special effect once during scenario 2. And that's it.
That's it.
Then it says stop. Do not flip more pages until you're going to play scenario 2, which is not right now. So if you want to see scenario 2, we'll be doing that live Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's already scheduled. YouTube.com/Rob's Gaming Table on the main page, and you can set a reminder for it.
This does say, though, stop. Do not draw cards from this campaign deck until game end condition is met in the first scenario.
Oh, we got more
so
to
we
read.
do have a little bit more here.
Okay, so let's draw from the
this.
campaign deck. So make sure we're doing this right. So campaign deck, first half here. Game end condition, okay. Unlocked contents of the campaign deck. 12 outcome cards. These form a new deck. Okay, done. Now what?
That's it. Do not draw cards until... Oh, going to set up the second scenario.
Okay, so we don't draw any more from there. No
Nope.
more spoilers. That should be good.
That is all.
That's it. So Mel's going to fill this out after I'm playing in her
Yes.
better writing than mine, which we should be able to read in the future. Unlike if I wrote, we wouldn't know what happened. But yeah.
That was so interesting.
Yeah, what do you think? Like, yeah, I want to hear your thoughts first before I go on my ramble about this game.
It's very different than anything I've ever played. I feel like it's more of a puzzle game than anything else.
Yep.
And you're trying to balance both sides
Yep.
so that things are coming down evenly. I'm
Yeah, this-
very
this-
excited
yeah.
to keep playing this, and
Yep.
I can see that this becoming very challenging as we go forward and have more units and yeah.
This is still thinking puzzly, but remember, guys, like, this is just the base game. We're going to be playing 12 scenarios that are going to slowly add complexity and add options and stuff. This is the simple, like, learning intro game. So there's not much going on here, but yet it still was thinky and there still was strategy, and I'm still having trouble wrapping my mind around what's going on here. But I'm sure it's going to get crazier. There'll be more cards in the deck, lots more units on the board, more terrain types. I know there's more terrain types in the box because I've already seen them all. We're not using them. And there's another side to the map.
yeah.
And there's 4 more decks of cards we'll be opening and adding to different things. And we even now have a new deck. So just imagine, like, what it's going to add. Like, I think that's super neat.
But I think it's an amazing game. I think it's very different.
Yes,
than
very well
anything I've
done.
ever played.
It's definitely fresh, and it's interesting. And you would think, just picture any dudes on a map game, but then picture you're not the dudes on the map. You're messing with the dudes on the map. I think that's amazing. Like, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. It's so different and it's so fun. And I love how it's co-op. And it's got solo, so you could sit there and just puzzle this out all you want. And in solo, you would just be drawing 4 cards, and you'd be messing with those 4 cards, trying to mess with them. But the only thing is you're 1 unit, so you have to now, like, run to the other side if you want to mess with them and stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah, so I think in solo, I could see that being very difficult, trying to manage both sides by yourself. Like, for
But
us, we
I-
did kind of stay...
I think that's why they balance it, though, with in 2 players or 3 or 4 players saying you can't look at each other's cards. That's to kind of add the difficulty. If you were to play solo, you have the advantage of you have your whole hand, you know everything. You have that knowledge, so you should be able to have a little more advantage. But again, you're disadvantaged because you only have 1 character.
Right.
But in 2-player, we have the advantage. We can spread out and work separately. But now we only have 2 cards each. So now you can't get as much done when you're on the other side. So I think that's a great balance mechanic for the player counts.
And it is very hard to think of, do I hold these cards or do I play these cards?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot here.
And there's strategy, like there's combos between these cards where if you can get the right cards together, you can do things like grab the card from the bottom, put it on the top, and then, you know, you can poison a guy and fortify another guy and like try to mess with the health and heal and move guys out of stealth or move guys off of towers to try to manipulate the motivation. And this is just in the base cards that they gave us in the tutorial scenario. Like, I can't wait to play this again.
Yeah.
I think this is great. And there are some questions. Drop your questions in the chat. We'll be answering them for the next like 5-10 minutes here before we get out of here. But feel free to leave comments down below if you're watching this later and have questions, or join us in one of our next live streams if we're still in the middle of playing this campaign. Like I said, we'll be scheduling the episodes a few out, and we're going to play all 12 sessions. That's the plan. So stick around if you want to follow along with us, if you've already played the game, or if you don't mind some of the spoilers, or you're okay with spoilers for the first couple scenarios but then want to drop off and play the game later, or if it's not interesting to you. If you watch this scenario and it's not good for you, you're good. But there are spoilers coming up ahead. But feel free to drop questions live in our future chats too, for the future episodes as we go along. So Kanjay, Derek saying, cool game. Sacabra's kind of neat. Let's see. Definitely a different style of game.
Yeah, I agree.
So why is this ranked why is it ranked 4,217 on BGG? Keep in mind, for a small publisher that's only had a couple Kickstarters, and this game is from a couple years ago, it came out in 2018, is what it says on BGG. I don't know if that's when it came out to retail. I have no idea. But keep in mind, 2018, I own many games from 2018, and I'm still buying games from 2018 and trying to get a hold of games from 2018 that are freaking amazing and phenomenal. That year was loaded for board gaming. Great games were being dropped on Kickstarter. Great games were hitting retail. 2018 was a beautiful year for board gaming. So this game, it came out with all those other games and maybe got trounced a little bit. The other thing, it is a different game. Try explaining this to somebody. There are a lot of people that love playing miniatures games, fighting each other, rolling dice, playing cards, beating the crap out of each other, 1 versus 1 or whatever, 2 versus 2, that kind of thing. This is not that game, and I think people might see that and then realize it's not and maybe just go, not my type of thing. And it's hard to explain this game to people. That's why I thought it was a great game to play through on the channel, because people can actually see what's involved. And I'm very curious, but I was very interested, and now playing it, I'm even more interested. Like, this is better than I expected, but I do like the change of pace. I do like having games in my collection that are different. I don't need more of the same.
Right.
And I'm glad that this game exists. But why it's rated so low, I just think because it's a Kickstarter that had small miniatures. People weren't buying it for the miniatures. It had 600 and something backers, according to this. It had 692 Kickstarter backers that helped bring it to reality. And maybe it just hasn't got out to the mainstream board game media and stuff. Like, maybe, I don't know. I couldn't find a lot of reviews and a lot of playthroughs on it. Oh, did you lose sound? Do you guys still hear us? Let's see here. Test. Oh, you can hear.
Okay.
Oh. Janet, your speaker bar turned off. Your speaker bar turned off. You got to turn it back on.
Okay, it's fine.
Thank you for letting us know.
Okay, thank you, though. Okay.
Panic.
I think Sakabra said it very well, too. He said in answering that question that we're talking about is not many people know about it. It wasn't mass marketed.
Yeah, it's not a mass market game.
Yeah.
And remember, that's what I want to get to. Sorry, I was trying to get to that.
Yeah.
A small publisher doesn't have a huge marketing budget. He's only got a few games under his belt, Snowdale Designs. So you only have so much budget to pump out marketing, right? So it's all word of mouth. And so I'm glad it was brought to our attention. I hope we can show it to a new audience. And if it's interesting to you, check it out. It's in retail. Check it out. It may be harder to find because it's only so many copies out there, but hopefully they do another print run if people are more interested in it. So yeah, leave comments below. I hope the designer of the game sees it. I'll be reaching back out to him to thank him and show him what we did here. And yeah, hopefully he can answer some questions if you guys drop any in the comments later too. But yeah, it's the same publisher of Dale of Merchants, if you ever heard of that game. That game is a little more popular. But again, these are not big, huge blow-up Kickstarters. They're not games that are full of thousands of miniatures, weigh 100 pounds, cost hundreds of dollars. This is just a normal board game that came through Kickstarter. But I want to tell you, this is not Kickstarter production quality. This is like Fantasy Flight Games, retail, high-quality production board game. Like it does. I would not know this is a Kickstarter unless I researched it. I would have thought this was published by Fantasy Flight Games based on how the rules are laid out, how polished it is, how clear the English is, the components, the print quality, the card quality, all that stuff screams Fantasy Flight Games to me. That's all I can say there.
Do you feel these cards would need to be sleeved from Janet?
Yeah. Because they are printed the same as Fantasy Flight Games sleeves, these are the same kind of size sleeves and same finish that we have in games like Star Wars Rebellion, Game of Thrones, the board game, other Fantasy Flight games. What other Fantasy Flight games? These are the size as. These are like their board game size cards. They're not the small ones, and they're not normal standard size cards you get in collectible games or living card games. These are like those in-between size ones you find in Game of Thrones, the board game, Star Wars Rebellion. What's the other games that we have?
Everything's hidden.
They're all hidden. Fury of Dracula, I think, has cards this size. And the studio is from Finland, yes. Yes, studio's from Finland. They have a Kickstarter going right now, I think, for Dale of Merchants 3. So you could go in there and see what people are saying probably about that project. But Dale of Merchants, it's like a deck building game that was in 2015 kickstarted. They did Dale of Merchants, then Dale of Merchants 2 the next year. Then they did like a Dale of Merchants collection that you can add 1 and 2 into, but it's like a bigger collection box. And now they're trying to kickstart the third, basically like the fourth part of that content. But that's like some deck building game, but that's more popular. And then this is like in the same universe. But I was doing my research to find out who this company was before I reached out to them to try to get a review copy. But they were cool to send this over. I do appreciate it. Sammy, if you're watching, thank you so much. It's a great game. Great game.
Very good game.
And we're going to be playing more of it. You did a great job here. So,
Derek is saying, I didn't get into board gaming until 2019, so I need to go back and see. Do you have a list of games that you recommend from 2018?
Off the top of my head, no, but... you're kind of making me want to go to Board Game Geek, sort by year, and find out what games were released then in the top 100. But I bet I might be able to do that quick. But I might have to click around and figure out how to do that. But I know that is a possibility. Can we see? So hold on, give me a sec here.
Just while you're doing that, Sajad says, this seems to be the exact kind of game that I would be glad to watch along and don't feel I need in my collection. Sorry if that sounds mean. It is just is what it is. Nope, that's fair.
This game is not for everyone. I totally understand that.
Yep.
And I hope to see more about the game. Maybe later in scenario 6, we're like, oh man, this is a stupid mechanic they added, or they removed this thing, or they added these units to the game that kind of break it, or the rules fall apart, or we realize the campaign later is not written as well and playtested as well. That is a possibility. But based on what I've seen so far, first impressions, blown away. Love it.
Yeah.
But it is not for everyone. It's a totally different type of game. And that's why I think it hasn't sold as well, because the marketing's low and it's a different game. Like, they're breaking the mold here. And I think that's great.
I think I like that it's a different game than we normally play.
Trying to figure, there is a way to do this filtering. Probably lists. No. I don't know where it is. I'm trying to figure out. I thought there's a way you can filter it. Advanced search. Year published. Okay, hold on. There is a way. Let's go back. Browse. So you should be able to go. Sorry, one sec.
Is it in like the three lines at the end there? Other side?
Oh, there it is. Advanced search.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. So let's try this. I'm sure some of you guys know how to do this. Okay, so year published range. Also 2017, I think, was a great year too. But and remember, some games will show the year that they were like kickstarted, but they didn't release till the next year. So I probably should be looking at 2017 also, because a lot of games from 2017 that were kickstarted all dropped in 2018. So I'm going to count that in there, because I know games like Spirit Island and stuff were like, didn't really catch on popularity until the year they were like dropping. But let's see, 2017, okay, submit. Okay, then we can sort by, the ranks right here on the left. We click on it, will it do it? Yes. So look, Gloomhaven came out in 2017. Didn't blow up until like 2018, okay? Brass Birmingham, still on the hotness list. I see this game. Twilight Imperium 4th Edition, Gaia Project, Spirit Island, 7th Continent, Pandemic Legacy Season 2.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Nemesis dropped in 2018. Root dropped in 2018. Azul in 2017. Obviously, word of mouth picked up on that game. Everdell. Okay, that's a good start. Starlight. I know I said Starlight. Starling Games. Not the greatest production quality. That one is pretty decent. I'll give it that. But yeah, some of their games are not. Yeah. Anachrony, I've heard good things. Too Many Bones. I don't know about that game at all, but I've heard it's pretty good. Teotihuacan or whatever. Hear lots about that. Rising Sun 2018. Come on,
we need to get to that.
That yes, That Kickstarter, like that was the same year that kickstarted was the same. Like yeah, so it's like Architects of the West Kingdom, Quacks of Quedlinburg.
This is huge right now. This game too.
Yep, Quacks of Quedlinburg won a Spiel des Jahres or one of those awards. Clank in Space dropped 2017. Chronicles of Crime was 2018.
Wow.
Dinosaur Island's pretty popular. Welcome to, like one of the most popular roll and write games. Look at all these games like in the top like 200. Near and Far
is popular right now.
This
too.
War of Mine.
Oh,
What is
hey.
this?
That's when it came out.
This War of Mine. I don't know what this game is, but I heard it's pretty good. Just kidding. We played through some of these on the channel, by the
I'm
way.
surprised how many of these we have.
This
or
was
have-
2017 came out. But again, some of these games came out in those years or kickstarted in those years, but nobody got them until later, and then the buzz starts hitting on them. Codenames Duet. Detective, we have this game we got to get into eventually. Sagrada
We just
dropped in
played that.
2017. Aeon's End, War Eternal. Yeah, like these games,
Wow.
like if you're in the top couple hundred of Board Game Geek, like of all time, that's insane. So this is what was around at the time that game was kickstarted. So just think of that, right? This is my assumption, though. I may not be correct.
Luckily, there are only like 5,000 to 6,000 games published a year now.
This is the problem. Yeah, that's the other thing. There's way too many
So
games being
many.
kickstarted and published and talked about that some just fall through the cracks. And I think this one fell through the cracks. But I'm not against going back and finding older games that might still be good. And it's not old game. Like, it's not old. I don't know when it delivered to backers. I'm assuming 2019-ish probably. So it's probably only a year and a half old. But I'm not all about the new hotness, as I see Reese is in there saying, you guys do a great job of showcasing new and old games, better than most because you show a full game, so to speak, and give it a good, honest review to them. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we do.
Yeah.
Um,
But again, our play style may be different than yours.
welcome to the roll and write without rolling. But indeed, not a bad one. Oh, I don't know. I've never played a roll and write. I just heard it.
No.
It's described as a roll and write. I just don't know much about it, but I always hear it mentioned on people's lists and stuff. And I'm like, oh, interesting. That's one I got to try if I ever care about to play that genre. But yeah.
The most depressing game ever
Oh,
created.
talking about this War of Mine? Yeah. That one?
But I love it. So bad.
It's so good.
But I love it.
So
love
good.
that game.
So Kanji Studios says he has Nemesis and will be giving that a whirl at some point. Thanks for showing that.
That game looks so good too.
Yeah, no, they're about to drop another Kickstarter in like 2 days for a new standalone expansion to Nemesis. Yeah.
It's hard to get that one.
Yeah. So the original Nemesis, yes, is like between print runs right now, so it's like super hard to get a copy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we don't own that one. But maybe we'll look at the new Nemesis standalone one, and maybe it's better. Maybe they've improved on it, and we just skip the first one and just try to go for that one. We'll look at the Kickstarter and see what's up. But yeah. Alrighty.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was great. I can't wait to get back to this on Tuesday night, play the next scenario, see what they deliver to us, what little story happens, what new components unfold. I want to see more units on the board. I want to see more terrain types. I want to jump to the other side of the board at some point. Yeah, I want to see what they do. I want to know what's in the envelopes and the boxes. I want to open the goodies that are hidden in there. I want to see what's inside. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that stuff, tune into our next episode. There is a playlist. You can go set reminders for future episodes so you don't miss them. The best way is to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel, all of our Kickstarter backers. I know some of them are here in the chat. You guys are
Patrons.
awesome. Patrons,
We don't do
patrons, not
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. I'm talking about Kickstarters like crazy.
It's been a long weekend already.
Patreons, yes. I need to, yes. Whew. Thanks. Hubby watched for a bit, and so I bought. We'll play this summer. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a neat game, and I don't think it's that expensive. It's not, like, that's what I like about some of these games. They aren't loaded with minis, giant miniatures. If you don't care about painting and stuff like that, I just want a game that's functional and beautiful, and I think this game does that. But there are minis in it. You can paint if you want. There are minis, and they're pretty detailed for being small. Smaller. They're
Yeah.
not Seventh Continent small. These are like, they're not Star Wars Rebellion small. They're like in the middle. They're in the middle. I wish I had another mini to compare them to, but I don't have anything really nearby. But
No. What time Tuesday? Reese is 14 hours ahead of us.
it's
Oh,
7
wow.
p.m. Eastern. So today we started at 1 p.m. Eastern. So 6 hours. Actually, so it'll be on Tuesday, it'll be 4 hours from now. So whatever time it is, add 4 hours to this, and that's what time it is your time. That's yeah. All right.
Perfect.
It's 3:15 now. Yes. 3:15 Eastern right now.
Yes.
So I don't know where Reese is, but he's 12-hour difference.
14.
14.
But I think the easiest thing to do is
Google.
Google. Yeah, we always Google.
Current time in Eastern. And then, yeah. But YouTube's
But if
pretty
you
good.
set a reminder, it should remind you.
Oh, it'll be 9 a.m.
Oh, 9 a.m. Oh, wow.
So for him, he's 14 hours ahead. So for him, it is 5 a.m. right now.
It's 5 a.m.
Oh, you're in Australia. Okay.
Oh
Okay, that
my
makes sense now.
gosh.
This makes
Okay.
sense. Awesome.
Wow.
Thank you, Reese, for tuning in. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
early bird.
Yeah, early bird or working a night shift, I assume.
Cheers.
Or your kids are screaming, keeping you up. Yeah, one or the other.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So Cobb's right. Google will always tell you
Yes,
exactly.
Google it to Google. What time is it Eastern? But what you can do, Reese, just subscribe, hit the notification bell, or go set the reminder on the next stream. Go to our main page, youtube.com/Rob's Gaming Table, or click on my icon below. It'll bring you to our main YouTube page. I usually schedule our upcoming live streams there, and they have little reminder buttons on them. So as long as you're logged into YouTube, which you are right now because you're commenting, you should be able to just click set reminder, and whatever, and then you'll get a little notification or an email. Wife's left for work not long ago. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Whoa, she's an early
Yeah,
bird.
early bird. Wow.
Wow.
All right. Thank you for being here. That is it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll be back tomorrow. I know it's a long weekend for those in the US. I hope you're enjoying your long weekend. I believe it is. Tomorrow, solo, I'll be playing another Mage Knight solo conquest. This time playing Tovak. And right now our Patreons are voting on which one I play next week on Mage Knight Mondays, I guess is what it's going to be. So I scheduled another Mage Knight stream coming the following Monday. And I want to play another base game character. So right now our Patreons are voting which character it will be. So yes, more Mage Knight tomorrow, Sajat. At 11 a.m. Eastern, I'm starting earlier so that I can play a little more chill and not rush and not worry about dinner time interrupting me. I didn't really want to go for dinner. I want to keep playing and add up my score, to be honest, but I just knew I could be playing forever because Mage Knight was so fun, and that 6 or 7 hours felt like 3. It was awesome. I love Mage Knight. All right. And I'm excited to try more Mage Knight because I'm still new to Mage Knight. So warning, I'm like noob +1 now. So I'll be trying solo conquest again tomorrow. So we'll see a different setup, see how variable the game can be, and I'll be trying a new Mage Knight, Tovak, which is like the more straightforward one supposedly. And then after that, I'll be playing another one the next week.
Do we have on the weekend?
I didn't schedule it yet, but Mel and I are going to play Mage Knight co-op at some point and schedule that. So watch for that.
That should be exciting.
Yes, eating over playing games, that's not my priorities. Playing games over drinking, resting, stretching, eating. Maybe that's my problem. I got to adjust some of those things sometimes, but the back seating was very strong that day.
Yeah, I saw that and it made me nervous to want. I said that to him after.
That and I knew that was going to be that way with the Mage Knight crew. That's why I posted like, "Hey, I'm new. If you don't come in expecting me to play the best strategies." But again, the Mage Knight community, they're very hardcore about that game, and a lot of them have been playing that game for like a decade. So people have adapted strategies and stuff and have their own way of playing and trying to get points. I'm playing Mage Knight from I love to play fantasy adventure games, and I'm not playing it as hardcore trying to get points. Because to me, that's cool if I'm like bored of the game and I need to spice it up. But now I'm just going to play through it like a fun board gamer, just trying to have fun with a fantasy game and a deck building game and trying to see if I can crush it with another Mage Knight or something. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. But if the game whoops my butt, that's awesome. I'm trying to just learn Mage Knight and get used to the different cards and components and strategies and the variability. And I want to experience all that's in that ultimate Mage Knight box. So eventually I'm going to work my way to expansions, playing with other characters, and have some fun and see what's in there. Oh, Mage Knight's super in-depth game. Mage Knight is the highest weighted game we have in our collection.
Yeah.
It's like a 4.57 or something on Board Game Geek of weight out of 5. So yeah, it's a beast.
Yep.
And have I looked at Runebound? Yes. Runebound I was interested in, but the problem with Runebound is you can't find the co-op slash solo expansion that makes that game play in solo and co-op. So otherwise you're just playing competitive, kind of like Mage Knight. but that FFG only printed a small print run of that expansion, and now they're not printing anymore, it doesn't look like. So unless I can find a copy of that expansion, that's the only way I'll ever play Runebound 2nd edition, it looks like. But I heard it's similar. It's a lot lighter than Mage Knight. Unbreakable Bonds. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Unbreakable Bonds, Kanjay, Derek, we missed that boat. Unless you can get lucky but I've seen that people have posted online and sold it in the past for like, it's super expensive for what it is. Like, people will overcharge for it because it's out of print. So...
And we did miss on the secondary market. We found it on like Facebook Marketplace or something.
Yep.
But then by the time I sent a message,
Yep.
it was already gone.
Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep looking for that Unbreakable Bonds expansion, unless FFG comes out with a new 3rd edition or something of that game. And if they did, they would include solo and co-op by default in that game. So maybe they have something planned. They also have something planned supposedly coming for Descent. Rumor is they're like rebooting Descent. So maybe that will kind of replace or change something there. I don't know. I know Descent's like a different kind of game, like a dungeon crawler, but maybe they'll do something and reboot it. Maybe that's why it's not in print anymore. Because that's kind of what FFG does. If they're not reprinting something, it's either sold like junk or they're just like moving on to the next edition of it. So yeah, we'll see. So yeah, keep your eye out for stuff like that. Anyways, that's all for the stream. Thanks a lot. And I think we're going to end it here. So we'll see you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for the solo of Mage Knight, and the next day we'll see you for episode 2 of Dawn of Peacemakers. Thank you all for watching, and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.